Luckily, you're like, okay. Okay, I think we're live. Hello, everybody. We are a bit late in the game. Well, I guess we're right on time, but late meaning later than normal because there was a basketball game that I keep unplugging it. Sorry, guys. We literally just walked in the door. I took my shoes off, realized my feet were frozen, ran and grabbed my heating pad for my feet, and then now you're seeing me like right now. So, okay, you're the one because you got it caught. You need to move your chair. Sorry.
There.
He wanted to start the live stream out with me, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, we are okay. Okay. Can you get like a stack of books to stand? No, I'm just kidding. I thought that, well, this chair needs work. It's missing a screw. Oh my gosh, it was such a close game, and the refs were not calling a whole bunch of things on the other team they should have. Don't get me started. But like, emotions are running high just because of, you know, what time of the year, election year it is. A lot of people are just really snappy today. For good or for bad. Yeah. I mean, it's just a collective thing. And then my husband got involved with the like, oh, you gotta call that to the ref, and like the whole place got quiet, and the ref like not yelled at him, but like talked to him, and then some guy behind us for the other team's parents, I think, was like yelled at my husband like, I don't see you wearing stripes or something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, let me go home right now. This is not what I signed up for. I just want to watch the game and it be fair. And they literally lost by 2 points, which was especially this one call. They should have called. They didn't call it, and then the guy got a layup, so there's 2 points right there. It should have at least been tied. If not, if they called like 4 other things. And these are just the things I caught, and I'm no professional. But these are just the things I caught. And then my husband, of course, is my father-in-law, my husband's dad, was a high school varsity basketball coach for 44 years. So, like, basketball runs in the blood. Not my blood, but the kids' dad's side blood. But, you know, I mean, to me, it's like, yeah, that kind of sucked or whatever. But, like, in the grand scheme of life, none of that matters, really. I mean, I don't know. But yes, we're here. We're going to do a reading. We don't have any donations thus far, so after the reading, we may just go into our cosmic question or giveaway. I might put a poll up for you guys to vote for that. And I do have spots. I can't remember what I said earlier. I have time enough for probably up to 5 spots, 5 readings today, up to that amount as far as donations go. Let's see, poll, here it is. Okay, so start a poll. So what do you want? And we're gonna do the cosmic questions corner. Yes, that's how you spell it. Yes, okay, good. Or reading giveaway / drawing. Okay, that's what we're working with. Okay, so I'm going to start that poll. You guys can go ahead and vote. Getting texts. Oh, no worries, Amber, to your text. No worries at all. Okay, so feel free to vote in the poll I just posted, and we are going to get into a free collective reading. I've been loving the cosmic questions too. So much fun. Wrigley, it looks like you have funny little ears, green ears. Do you see that? They like go like this. Oh, right there. That looked funny. But he wanted to help out with our collective reading. We're just going to do a healing reading, I think, just to see what's coming up for healing. That's such a, I mean, are we not always in a collective healing phase on this planet? I think we really are at all times. But I just want to ask what our little collective can maybe focus on, or what?
No, Mom.
Oh, he pointed at the chat and then he said, never mind. All right. Yeah, just what we can focus on as far as our own personal healing, or just the healing in our immediate environment, I guess. So this is just our little collective, not like collective of humanity, because that's a whole ball of wax, and I don't think I have enough breath in me tonight to even touch the tip of the iceberg of that surface. So we're just gonna roll into, for some reason, I'm picking up this, it's a Mystic Love Oracle, I think it's called, but love doesn't just have to be romantic love, although I think that's mostly what this deck is focused on. For some reason, that's where we're going. And I'm gonna have Wrigley pick the card. All right, Wrigley's picking the card. All right. So, shape shifter mimicking. And we have a snake. He's all coiled up, and I'm not a snake connoisseur or expert by any means, but is it normally when a snake, maybe not every snake, but when a snake coils up, they're ready to strike? I don't know. That's just coming to my awareness for some reason. But again, I have like zero experience with snakes. I've seen a handful out in the wild, and a kid I used to babysit had a snake that was a cute little snake that it was okay. Like I was fine with it. But I did see a dead rattlesnake on the road when I lived in Washington as a very young child. That like tiny amount of time I didn't live in Montana. But what I'm getting with this is, oh, my little one, he's a cute. Aw, can you say thank you? Amber said, "You're cute. You're so cute." He's the one of the two that maybe looks the most like me when I was little. Not maybe so much me with all the hair and all that, but yeah. But what I'm seeing with this is so many people, it's like you can shapeshift to match the energy of just the greater collective, which for the most part, I don't know, is that energy that a lot of us want to bask in or dip our toes into? Probably not. So what this is saying, instead of shapeshifting and trying to match the energy, just really hold that energy for yourself, like your vibration, and allow others to rise up to where you're at or match your energy. And if people are, they got their panties in a wad or they're just looking for a fight, you can be, take that high road, ride off on your high horse, and just, leave the place with a smile on your face. That's the vibe. That's the energy. I mean, that's what I just literally did at that basketball game. I'm just like, okay, time to go. Like, I'm not, I even put myself in all my protective layers, and still that energy is just very close at hand, very close to the surface. So be mindful out there that you may have people, your energy can be matched if you can hold that higher vibration. But if there are people in your arena that are, really trying to harsh the mellow or bring the vibe down, you can choose to either really try hard to remain in your vibration, or you can exit stage left. Like that's what I'm seeing with that card. What do we need to know? Let's go to the White Newman Tarot. Wrigley's going to pick our next card. Actually, we're going to pick 3 of these so we can kind of tell a story of healing that's available for us, because there's been a lot of solar activity. There's a lot of, when a big event like the US elections happens, or, the economy's doing what it's doing, and people are just, they're restless, they're anxious. There's a lot of just potential and possibility. It can go really south or it can go really well. So I want to get 3 cards. Wrigley's going to pull these to really paint a picture, tell a story on how we can kind of act like we're out in the Wild West and just kind of carving our own path through these available healing energies. So he has pulled 3. Do you remember the order you pulled them in? I think you did this one first. Okay. Well, the Emperor, we're just going to start here. And of course, if they tell a non-linear story, hey, I am amazing at non-linear storytelling. Ooh, I forgot earlier to say this thing. Like, I got that in the bag. So what we have here is the Emperor. And we all know the Emperor is about standing in your own inner authority. And it is in a usually more outwardly or masculine directed way, rather than that very calm, space holding, divine feminine of the Empress holding her sovereignty in her space, or the Queen of I almost said swords, Queen of Wands, Miss Sovereignty herself, as I call her. She doesn't do it in a forceful way, and I'm not seeing you guys doing anything in a forceful way with this Emperor, but at the same time, you are almost being forced by the energies, by the universe, by whatever, to take action in some regard. So you're being forced to take action, to stand in your authority. And how are we doing this? Okay, this makes perfect sense. Okay, wow, we got double eights here. The Eight of Swords, the Eight of Wands. Both are sorry, not Eight of Swords. Eight of Cups and Eight of Swords. That's what I meant to say. um, but Eight of Cups. This is about walking away when something like we were saying earlier about the shape shifting and mimicking card. Knowing when your number's up and it's time to just walk on by or move on out. You know, you don't have to make a scene or anything. You can just kind of Homer Simpson yourself right on into those bushes and check on out. And maybe you're going to get a phone call like, hey, where did you go? You were there and then you weren't. But if you are feeling like putting a very strong boundary, that's also possibly warranted at this time because things are as they are right now. Eight of Swords. Of course, we can get in our own heads. I call this a lower octave of the devil because this really is about, you know, not falling to the temptation of that guy snapping at you and you just having this amazing comeback, but you're like holding your tongue, smiling, waving, and exiting stage left. I mean, that was my right, your left, maybe. I don't know. This really is about you just knowing when to shift, to shape shift out of your own limiting beliefs, toxic thinking patterns, thought loops. Thought loops are a really big thing that entities will send in these thought loops or operate on the vibration of these thought loops in your head to get you to crack, get you to break, to get you to snap, to get you to blow up at your family, to, you know, whatever it is, all the tension at the basketball game. But this really is about with her holding a chicken. I mean, this is not a normal traditional Rider-Waite depiction of the Eight of Swords, so I think it's very telling. She's holding a chicken, and I just heard, I know it's a chicken and not a goose, but I just heard the goose that laid the golden egg. So for every 1,000 toxic thoughts there are in your head, there's always going to be a really winning thought or a really beautiful thought. That golden egg of opportunity is what I just heard, an egg of opportunity. And you can actually use these times right now that we are in, these major trigger points for a lot of people, to allow those to be opportunities for growth when you are getting triggered or when you're noticing other people getting triggered and you're just stepping more into observation mode. Of course, when it's your own trigger, I don't always advise stepping into observation mode unless you literally can't deal with it in the moment. Of course, then please step into observation mode rather than victim mode. That's usually a better place to be. It's a more neutral place. But as far as your own triggers, and because this is a healing reading, this really is about you deciding that, okay, enough's enough with this trigger. I'm not going to continue in these thought loops that I'm personally creating, or that, you know, maybe these entities are, you know, ushering in and I'm just getting trapped in the spin cycle of it. Instead, you are maybe first just feeling whatever it is you're feeling, allowing yourself to feel, because that's the kind of missed mark or hidden, you know, positive vibes only. And I even used to have a thing up on my wall over here behind my original The Done Creative Alive setup that was like a lady meditating with like purples and blues and pinks, and it said positive vibes only. And you know, for so long I'm like, yeah, let's do that. But that's A, not realistic as a human, and B, it's not healthy, because, and I'm not going to ever say there's anything real such thing as toxic positivity, because if it's toxic, it's not positivity, it's a mimic, it's a shapeshifter, right? But what we are seeing a lot is people saying one thing and doing another, or they're smiling and nodding along, but really they want to say no and get the heck out of Dodge. And this is about you honoring when you want to not smile and nod along, but stand up, say, no, I'm not doing this, and getting out. And sometimes we have to, instead of removing ourselves, we have to move through it or push through it. Be these our own emotions, be these an argument with, you know, a loved one, or just certain things where you're kind of just forced in whatever moment to deal with whatever is in front of you, whatever is the task at hand. But you, viewer, amazing person that you are, you're going to be the one to decide with your intuition, with that true spirit. And if you're confused in the moment, the best, and I know it's always hard, for me sometimes it is hard to remember that, hey, my spirit's on deck. Like, I can call on my spirit at any time. And my spirit never leaves me, but I can bring it in even fuller force when I set the intention, and when I set the intention specifically to connect to my spirit for guidance. But, you know, when moments are heated and things are going on and an argument is taking place, or, something crazy is going on at the basketball game. That's just a perfect prime example for just the energies and a collective of people. Perfect example. But we have the choice to tune in, especially to that intuition, but it's about being mindful and not just getting lost in the moment and just reacting, rather than tuning into your spirit, taking a minute, or a moment at least to, and if this is a loved one you're arguing with, usually people love each other, right? There's a modicum of respect involved, to where if you needed to say, hey, I need a minute. I need a minute to gather, collect my thoughts, or to just calm down, or whatever it is. And most people who claim to love you will allow that time willingly. And, even if they're really wanting their voice heard at that time, maybe you can say, hey, if you're on a roll and you know what you want to say, maybe go write it down. I'm going to go cool off for a bit. Maybe I'll write some things down and then we can convene. I'll text you when I'm ready, whatever. If you just need time. That's the thing, is so many times when an argument or disagreement or, the collective is just sprung on you out of the blue, most people are just in reaction mode. They're not same. Like, for the most part, I have to constantly remind myself, I'm not just this human getting, this argument thrust on me, or having this crazy thing go down at the basketball game, but I also am a spirit in this human meat suit that can tune into my spirit, bring it loud and proud, tune in, especially because I was not directly involved in the altercation today, but I really brought my spirit in and tried to hold space for everybody to just calm. Kind of like Jasper on the Twilight series, how he was like, he could tune in and like influence people's moods, like he could calm people down or he could rage people up. I tried to hold the calm, and it worked, because it dropped. It just was like all the air let out of a balloon. Like right after that, it all died down. And there have been many not many, like it happens all the time, but at least 4 decently major altercations, like tonight when my husband was coaching basketball and he's telling the coach, you got to call, or the ref, you got to call those. If you're going to call them on one team, you got to call them on both teams, or, someone's going to get hurt. And things would like escalate. And at one point he almost got thrown out of the game, not because he was yelling, but because he would not back down, because he knew what was right and what was wrong, and what was wrong was what was happening. So there are going to be those times where, yes, we're going to have to stand in that very masculine authority and speak our, not screaming and raging, but just standing in our solid confidence. Maybe we're raising our voice slightly just to be heard if there's a crowd and there's a lot going on. But for the most part, this is you being able to trust your intuition, engage the situation, knowing if you need a quiet voice and to just kind of exit stage left, or if you need to literally stand your ground with authority, whatever the case may be. All right, Wrigley, you ready to pull another one? I'll go to this card. All right, healing messages that those of us that are watching now and on the replay need to know right now. Feel free. Pull a card, any card. Pull two, why not? You're tired. You're looking tired, my man. All right. We have flow and community. Oh my gosh. Let me show you guys. These are awesome. Oh, and trust is on the back. I'm going to pull that card. Okay. I really love the flow and trust combination for sure, but also the flow and trust and community. So those of you that are watching, you probably already have a certain community that you can trust or flow with, even if it's just one person, even if it's your dog or your cat or, your own spirit, whatever that looks like for you, your mom, your friend, your really good friend that, you're constantly going back and forth about, sharing and loving each other. Supporting. This is about support. And if you don't have anyone like that in your life, now is a great time to put that bat signal out there, with the intention of your spirit that, it's a good time to get someone in your corner, even if they're online, even if they're your dog. Like I said earlier, this really is about not having to go it alone, because so many times, I can look back on the dark nights of the soul of my past that I just felt like I was completely in it alone. And that is such a big inspiration, even just for me doing the jobs that I do now, is I just don't want anyone to have to struggle through that alone the way I did. And yes, this community, I hope that's what we're forming here. I love that so much. And this really is about being able to transform through being able to trust yourself, through those support systems and flowing with what is, because we usually, I mean, yes, there's quantum jumping and timeline shifts and all these things that can happen, but for the most part we are usually flowing with, we're either flowing or we're, button up against, or in resistance to something. And even when things are feeling a little dicey, a little uncomfortable, it's usually, think of when you're uncomfortable or something's going on, usually we tense everything up, we tighten it up, we're almost just like energetically constipated, and what we want to do instead, even when we're triggered, is to try to just relax our muscles, breathe deep down into your womb space or all the way down to your tailbone if you can. I mean, some people have lungs, they can really do this, because so many of us just breathe like maybe to about here. We want to really breathe down, as far down as we can, especially this is a anxiety technique that I learned. I think it's called box breathing, but I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me. You can look it up. But you breathe in as deep as you can for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, release that breath for 4 seconds, hold your breath again for 4 seconds, start over. Breathe in for 4 seconds as deep as you can, hold for 4 seconds. So it's just, you keep going and going and going until you feel this sense of calm. And I even do this. This helps me. I was watching Dr. Mandel years ago on YouTube here, and he was talking about, it was a video, I think it was titled something like military secrets to fall asleep in under 2 minutes. And I was like, sign me up, because my mind just constantly going. Even when I'm like physically just exhausted and tired and ready to go to sleep, my mind is like, oh, we're doing this now? I don't think so. Oh, remember that guy from 3rd grade that tripped you? I think he had a crush on you. Oh, remember this? Oh, I can't believe she got away with that. Oh, I want to learn tomorrow about human design. Like, all the things, just light bulbs all over the place. And it's like, usually, not always, but usually they're completely inconsequential. I don't need to be thinking that right that second. You know what I mean? So usually I will do that box breathing, tune into my own spirit, do all my bubbles of protection, ground centering and shielding, like Jessa says. Hi, Jess. How are you? I also always do that, like uterine womb. I do, including the amniotic fluid, and I'm healing in that fluid, the sacred waters of life. And then to top it off, I put a like metallic but metal that maybe isn't even found on this realm, like just divine metal prism or pyramid around myself for protection. Because the original, before it got completely hijacked and bastardized by the people, that think they're in charge anyway, the pyramid was always a symbol of healing. So I reclaim, and that's the thing, any symbol, perfect example, the swastika that was used with the Nazis. Well, yeah, you can go. You're tired. I love you, baby. All right. That originated in India as a symbol. Remind me, Amber, you probably know better than I do. I think it was of peace. A symbol of peace was completely flipped on its head to mean something the exact opposite. Such a hijack. And KRS Astrology, he went off in one of these videos I was watching for my own astrological placements. He went off. He's like, that bastard, he took our symbol and he just totally destroyed what it meant. And it's just, but that's the same with the Eye of Horus and all these other, that's an Illuminati, he's given the Illuminati eye and the 666, and so many of these symbols actually have a benign or benefic or benevolent start point, and then they're hijacked and completely, whatever. I think we all know this at this point, but yeah, so it's what you choose to do with certain symbols, certain words even. A placemaker still in China and Japan. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how that happens, but all right, here we go. Last card. Major important symbol has such a vast meaning. Yeah, I figured it wasn't just about peace. I knew there was a multitude of layers as to what this was. So I'm gonna fix it a little bit more. Bye, chair. Okay, there we go. All right. What else do we need to know to close out this reading? It looks like Cosmic Questions Corner is winning, so we're going to roll right into that. I don't think we have any donations, but I probably should check that to make sure we're good. No, we're still good. Okay. Closing statement in our healing. Anything else we need to know? Actually, I want to pull another one from the Shadow Work deck as well. So, Hostilities, conflict, and unrest. I mean, again, this really is the underlying energy, but look, the number 31, I love that this comes out with this message because 3 plus 1 is 4. I spoiled it for you. If you didn't know, 3 plus 1 is 4, which is a number of stability, security, and being able to stabilize something, being able to set a proper foundation. And I love that she's like, got this black jaguar like at her side ready to attack if need be, and it just feels so fitting and dear to my heart after discovering my own black jaguar in my shamanic journeys, and just knowing this protective guardian that's always around me even when I'm not journeying. And it's so good. It's so good after feeling so alone for so long in these spiritual realms after my rude awakening from the awakening. It's good to have an ally again, at least in the spiritual capacity. I have a lot of human and incarnated allies for sure. So it's always good to have that spiritual help. And that's the thing. Even if we believe we're completely left here all alone, no, I don't think the original source creator could do that. I don't see that being the case. It's all about learning the discernment to tell what's a false light entity, what's, a fake spirit guide, and to really tune into what's actually for your benefit. And I'm getting all heated up, so I am going to turn this fan on 1 speed. I didn't even light our incense today. Oh well, we're cleansed. I had a very quick, I call it my snap decision cleansing that I do, because we had about 5 minutes. We got home about 5 minutes before I pressed start on, or Wrigley pressed start on the live stream, as I was trying to find my phone charger and get this plugged in and get all the things going. But I always clear and cleanse. And you better believe after that altercation at the basketball game happened, I cleansed and I ground and I centered it and I shield. Even though I did that before the game, these energies are like very infiltrative. So you're going to have to be like white on rice with your protections for yourself, from entities, from other people, from just collective energies, just finding their way through any crack and crevice that you have open. So I would say even every half hour is not overkill at this point. But if you're someone who only protects yourself, monthly, weekly, maybe once a day, I would say try to up that significantly if it's once a month that you're protecting and grounding and, protecting your own energy field. If you're someone who does it daily, I would say at least 5 times a day, just really amp it up. Even if you're just sitting at home, like, things find you. Like, these energies can find you. I know that sounds so sinister, like a horror movie, like, it's gonna find you, but I promise we are very strong and capable and able to deal with this stuff. It's just that it's annoying and it causes a lot of anxiety and stress when we have to deal with these things. I'm sure, though, if we could actually see or hear, taste, touch, smell, all the senses to full capacity, what's actually going on around us, we would probably die of a heart attack instantly because it's just too much. There's a lot of craziness going on out there. Yes, let's get one of these shadow work cards. Amber says she might donate. Awesome. All right. Anything else we need to know before we close out and move into Amber's donation or the Cosmic Questions Corner, whichever one comes first? All right. Here we go. What do we need to know? Those of us watching now and on the replay for our healing journey ahead. And we have here, inner cosmos, to embrace the light. First, acknowledge the dark. Oh my gosh, this is pretty much a theme. But just because this is such a fallen realm and a dark world, in many ways, there still are pockets of absolute purity and beauty and grace and unconditional love. And we can be these lighthouses in the dark. So just because things around you look dark doesn't mean you have to blend in and do that shapeshifter energy and match the vibration. No. Set a higher standard for both yourself and other people, not meaning that they have to be exactly where you are on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level, but just holding space that anyone who is willing to at least step one rung up, that you're holding space for them to be able to do that. But of course, if you don't have the capacity to hold space for someone else because you're going through all sorts of stuff, do what you deem fit and necessary for you in any given moment. All right. So that is going to conclude our collective reading. And because we already do have quite the collective of cosmic questions, I might just draw one tonight just to keep our process moving instead of having to write. Not that I don't mind writing them down. I just don't want you guys to be waiting around while I'm writing down new questions. But yeah, we will go into the cosmic question and answer that. And then if Amber wanted to donate, by the time our cosmic question is done, we can move into that. I'm just wanting to keep this live stream tonight a little on the shorter side just because it's been quite a long day, just getting everything going to start my new job. And that's been like a full-time job just this week, trying to get the job, all the training and the onboarding stuff. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to not overdo it, Wow, was I thirsty? I did not know I was that thirsty. You're so welcome, Jessica. Thanks for hanging out. It's always a pleasure to read for you guys. And man, just ground, center, and shield, as my friend Jessa Solar Siren 209 says all the time, because it is that important. Just do it. All right. I have a mess going on here. Yay! I'm so excited too. I'm just blown away by everything that transpired. Like, I'm still in shock that I got hired. There's like a 5% hire rate, and I'm not going to disclose where or for whom, corporation, company, whatever I'm working for, because I'm not allowed to. So I'm out there somewhere. So that's that. I'm out there somewhere operating. All right. Yes, that's the right way. Okay. Thank you. That I appreciate it. It's been a long time coming. I've known for a lot of years that, like, wow, if I could ever work there, that'd be so cool. I can't believe it's happening. It's happening. But I still have time to come here at least. I just may not be able to pick up full force on any other YouTube platform just because most of my day job time is now going to go to this new job. At least into the foreseeable future, because it's like good income and it's doing what I love at the same time, so I cannot pass that up. I love it, but I don't want to just crash and burn and abandon everybody in this community, because that would hurt my heart. I love this place so much. Even if there was only one of you coming to these live streams every week, it would still be worth it to me, because this is such it feels so good to me. I love you guys, and I hope you feel the love. Yay! Yeah. Yes, it just came through. So do you want to do your donation question first, or should we go to cosmic question? I'm going to let you decide, because I know sometimes you like to hold off and do yours last. So I'm going to let you choose yours or the cosmic question first. We're going to do both of them, but in what order? I'm going to let Amber pick the order we're doing this in tonight. She said sure, meaning hand raised like, yeah, I'll go first. If that's the case, let's do it. All right. So we're going to tune in over on the question. My cousin's family is coming over on Friday, and I am not in the zone for entertaining them. Oh my gosh, right? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, man. I feel raw internally due to the healing that I took from Raylene, and I don't want to hold space for anyone. And I do not blame you. Like, you have every absolute divine and mundane right to not have to do that. That's just for sure. I'm asking for guidance for my true organic inner spark and true organic authentic creator spirit. How to, sorry, I'm laughing. I'm getting a huge download and it's kind of funny. Spirits, this is funny tonight. How to get through the next 6 days or so. Okay, so the guidance coming in is literally fake a migraine. Take care of yourself. And, usually if it's something people can't see, like, what's wrong with you? Like, you look fine. Like, just buck up, buttercup, deal with it. Like, no. Your spirit does not want you to just buck up. So, maybe if you're feeling up to it one day, but not another, like, man, this massive migraine, all the lights, all the noise, it's just, and that's hard. I mean, maybe not all 6 days, right? But especially maybe to get you started. I don't know. That's the thing is, I mean, I don't condone lying usually, but when someone can't see, I mean, someone can't maybe really see a headache either, but At least that seems like a genuine excuse. Not that you need to make an excuse, but I know how things are just energetically speaking. It's like, self-sacrifice your own, you know, tired levels and just, I'm just not feeling it to just, because we have family coming in. That's the most important thing. We just got to do it. No. Friday night through Monday evening. Okay. So that's, if you can somehow pull it together with the help of your own spirit for one of those days, maybe a day and a half, rather than the whole time, that would be good. And of course, the migraine was just an example. If you feel like you have enough rapport with your cousins to say, man, you guys, I have just been through it. I'm so exhausted. I really do apologize. I'm gonna have to retire early, but I'm so glad to see you, and all the pleasantries. So let's tune in and just see if there's any advice, guidance, and wisdom besides what we've already uncovered. Because yeah, that healing in any capacity is no joke. And I took the, what's it called? The chakra balancing and DNA repair, and I leveled it up for 3 days. I went in, I'm like, let's just get these things done. Like, I'm ready. And I woke up today feeling so good, like so good. And I'm like, this is not what I thought I would be feeling the morning after election night, day, whatever. Like 3 weeks ago, I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, election day, like I'm gonna just have to steer clear of this place and this online place and over here and over there. And I actually was really in the flow until I hit a bit of a roadblock this morning with something with, with the work thing. I had to redo something to get it completely right. It was my photo. I didn't have quite the right pose, so I had to get another photo taken. And at first, I'm just like, what a hassle, because I have all this other stuff to do. And I was like getting in my feels about it. I'm like, stressing out, on the verge of tears. And then I was like, this doesn't actually feel related to the fact I have to redo this. This feels like energy I'm releasing. So I went and took a shower, got my hair all, with some product in it, so it looked decent for my photos, and was just kind of, okay, give myself a little cry in the shower. I felt so much better. Yes, it felt like, the fact that I had to redo the photo, because I had to literally leave my house, find someone to take the photo. Yesterday, it was my husband. He had to leave work to meet me. Well, I had picked him up, but we went out to this place in the woods to take pretty woodsy photos. And I looked at them, I'm like, yeah, great, this should work. Let's get home, let's edit it, let's submit it. And then I did that. And then this morning, it's a beautiful photo, but you're not fully fit. I think I was kind of like this more, they wanted like full on, like I'm seeing you right now. So I had to redo it. And thankfully, my friend Cindy, who is a professional photographer, her and I have done many trades of photo sessions and hanging out. Like, she's awesome. She was like, actually, I can do it for you today. I'm coming into town, so like that works perfectly for me. And she took it for me, and like it was fun. I got to see my friend. She gave me a nice little loaf of her chocolate banana bread. Like, I mean, so it warmed my heart, like, to be able to see her. Because I didn't think I'd be able to see her this week because her granddaughter's actually in town and she's staying with her for a week. So it felt like this, major, like, not catastrophe, but just for the wrench thrown in the gears of the plans I had for today to get this part of the training done and this part of the orientation done and this part of the onboarding done for my new stuff. And right out of the gate, before I even got one thing done, the thing I got done and spent all day yesterday doing was not approved, and I had to redo it. So I'm just like, but then I'm like, no, that's actually not that big a deal. Like, I still have till Friday to get everything in. Yes, that's still kind of crunch time, but like, I'm fine. But yet I'm still emotional, so I'm gonna go allow these emotions to come out. And I know you said you have been crying for a minute now, since the live stream. So obviously there's a lot coming out. Yeah, not your cousin, but husband. Look at me. Yeah, and I figured that was most likely the case, but I mean, you can't look. As I like almost drop half the deck, but look. She's like literally like digging into her like third eye, like kind of headache area, right? Wow. I was freaking out and crying. So I took a shower, did the burning in the divine fire ritual from Laura's course. I love that. That is so powerful to do that. Oh, I love doing that. then I felt better. It's a little up and down, almost like mourning death. It really is. And just allowing those old layers of yourself, or even just old grief, to surface. And when old grief surfaces, it doesn't mean the first time that we didn't grieve hard enough, because believe me, I have grieved hard enough for all sorts of losses in my life. It's just that somehow, some way, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye right now is almost like during the miscarriages that I had, during one of them, a little tiny piece of the placenta got stuck up there, somewhere. And so you're going to continue to bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed until everything is completely expelled. And it took like, I want to say 50 some days. And toward the end of that, I was actually thinking, well, maybe I need to just go do like a DNC or something at the hospital to just be done with this, because it was like being re-traumatized over. I mean, you lost your baby, and after the first loss, I think the bleeding lasts like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But after the second loss, which I think I mean, that first loss was really hard, but I think that second loss, I don't know. They were both horrific in their own ways. The first one I think was mostly horrific. I mean, obviously for obvious reasons, but because, I thought, well, I don't have any kids. This is it. I'm not going to be able to become a mom. But then after the second one, just because I knew what it was like to have Boston and, this amazing little human under my care and love, and to be able to, I got chills. And that second one, I feel very close to me a lot. And I know the first one was a girl, which is weird because I always knew I was going to be a boy mom. And then Wrigley was actually the third miscarriage 2 months before I actually did get pregnant with him. So something happened and he had to redirect. So that miscarriage, and it was the earliest of all the miscarriages I had, was the one right before Wrigley. But the third miscarriage was Wrigley's spirit trying to come in. Something happened. I still don't know the exact details of what happened. And I don't know that I even need to know, because he's here. So like, I'm good, but long, boring story short, to get to tell you that just because this grief is coming up, and you don't even have to put a label to, okay, this is grief for the loss of my mom. This is grief for this thing, that thing, all the trauma from childhood, whatever. You don't even have to sit and put a label on it. But one really amazing analogy or kind of visualization that I was doing last night, I've been going hard myself on the inner child healing and care and love, just connecting in my my shamanic safe space during my journeys with my inner child. Sometimes it's my 2-year-old self. Sometimes it's my 7-year-old self. Sometimes it's my 21-year-old self. She was still very much a child. She didn't think she was. Oh, but she was. And I just will, it's not like I have to sit there and entertain them. I mean, we just hold each other. I telepathically, or even out loud sometimes with my words while, I'm alone, I will even say out loud, I love you. I'm supporting you. I know you're going through this hard thing. I remember, I was this age when this happened, this age when that happened. And I'm such a visual person that I can almost see it replaying in my mind's eye, like I'm there in a movie all over again. So I can almost envision my younger inner child self of 2, 7, 14, 21. I don't know why so many of those numbers were divisions of 7, but multiples of 7. But 7 years, 7-year cycles, you hear the 7-year itch, something about the year 7 or 7 years ago when you were 7, Amber, something like that's coming in. But I go in and I can envision myself holding, me of today, as healed as I am, as far as I've come, holding that younger version of myself and just either sobbing or crying and sobbing are kind of the same thing, giving words of gratitude. Thank you so much for hanging in there and holding on and getting us to where I am now. I couldn't have done it without you. Just being that major, massive cheerleader that I needed at all of those times in my life. And the really like Twilight Zone thing. Hi, Tanya. If I didn't say hi to you earlier, I love you. I'm just like in the zone right now. The really weird Twilight Zone thing was, okay, I know you're going to think I'm crazy for saying this, but when I was in 9th grade, so my house burned down the summer between 7th and 8th grade. But by 9th grade, like I was in a really dark place mentally. Like I was taking antidepressants because they deemed that I had PTSD because of the fire. I'm sure other reasons, just growing up with my dad and all the fun things. But just got diagnosed as, PTSD. They called it post-traumatic stress syndrome at the time, though. So it was like, they didn't have the acronym. It was just called post-traumatic stress syndrome. So I was put on antidepressants that just made me not be able to feel the right way. Like I'm like, I don't like feeling bad, but I would prefer to feel bad than feel this weird, almost out of my body, numb feeling that I kept feeling. But I was in ninth grade and I was on my way to cheerleading practice after school, and I closed my locker and I looked over my shoulder because something caught my eye, and I was the only one in this hallway because it was like 20-30 minutes after school was out. I was gonna head over to cheerleading, and I look over behind my shoulder over at this other bank of lockers, and I'm standing there. I had chills just saying this. And I went home, like, after cheerleading. I told my mom all about it, and of course, the whole time I'm like, God, she's gonna think I'm weird, or God, who's crazy enough to say something like that, let alone, like, whatever. But no, she, like, didn't judge me. She didn't, try to get more information out. She just, like, lovingly accepted what I said without judgment. And, like, I think that's all I needed. Interesting, 7 years old. Anything in particular? Yeah, let's tune in. But I'm almost wondering now, retrospectively and circumspectively, if somehow a future version of me wasn't showing up to just say, hey, I got your back. I mean, because I literally looked kind of over my shoulder behind my back, and there I was. And I kind of just did this move, like, I'm okay. You're the other me. I'm the cheerleader practice me of ninth grade. Looking over, like, and then I look away, like, and then I look back and I was gone. But wow. All right. I started having major asthma, eczema, and major digestive issues. Started falling sick, like typhoid, jaundice. Oh my gosh. I'm hearing that was a death experience for you. That was a death experience for you, Amber. And you actually somehow, like, switched timelines and continued on. But because you switched to a different timeline, that timeline, then you were experiencing these things, which is crazy. But let's just tune in. What's going on with that? Yeah, that's confirmation. There's a yes. This is after the assault. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, so, and I don't know exactly what transpired in the assault, but you obviously know what happened there. But somehow, it's like energetically or physically, you passed away during that. But you were given a new breath of life in a timeline that may have seemed lesser than, because obviously now you have all these issues going on. But it actually, and you've switched timelines since then, so it's not like you're still on that timeline. So it's almost like if there were some sort of test to see if you've ever had this, that, or whatever, you would test like that, oh, you've never had that. And I don't know if any of those sicknesses, besides the asthma, I don't know if you, or the eczema, but like the typhoid and jaundice and malaria and all that, it would almost test like you never had that. She has chills. Let's see. What else does Amber need to know about? Okay, I'm hearing that there's not much else you need to know about specifically that, because we did tune in, okay, like a death time, hop to another timeline, but you've hopped since then. So, but yeah, it was a major point. But let's just see what else you need to know, especially because we've gone a little bit off topic, and that's my bad. That is not your fault. So I want to actually honor and answer your question here. About how to get through these next 6 days or so, just leading up to your husband's cousin, or your cousin's coming, your husband maybe acting however he's going to act if you need to take care of yourself. That's interesting. So I'm hearing you can be able, with quantum jumping, to jump to a timeline where this healing has already happened, or you've already integrated the healing that you had with Raylene and any other lingering things that were going on that were just kind of already arising for you leading up to your session with her. You can hop to a timeline where that processing is done and you're ready for the next, ready for cousins, ready for something exciting to happen, not just being in these healing doldrums for spinning. I didn't have anything before 11 years, and when I was assaulted and I wanted to die. Oh my gosh, yeah. Wow, yes, look. I'm tuning into, quantum jumping to a timeline where this healing is processed. Page of Pentacles, basically a new beginning, a new timeline. New lease on life. That's what I'm hearing. And I just got a text. Is that from you? Oh. My mother-in-law says, someone keeps opening the garage door. Who is it? Because we all have this app to be able to open their garage door, our garage door. And so sometimes Boston will accidentally open their garage door when he needs to get in our garage door to go play his drums. But it was not him, and it was not Ryan. So mystery is still out there. So I don't know if there's something about a garage. Because think of it. A garage is somewhere we store, well, my garage is somewhere we store a lot of the stuff that just doesn't fit in the house. Like our cars could never fit in that garage because we kind of almost use it as extra living space for the kids with their golf and their drums and the keyboard. They've got a whole, because they can make, I mean, we still hear it in the house because we kind of have the garage below us, then our main level, and then our upstairs. So we're like 3 stories high, like stacked up. We can still hear it, but it's a lot more muted than if it was in the house. So I'm thinking of, this is relevant to your reading because it's coming in right now. Hi, Diana, if I didn't say hi. Hello. Because it's like there's storage. You've been storing something that's now ready to release, and now there's space. So something that I do in a lot of journeys, or when I'm doing cord removals on myself or others, is I will, once that cord or that energy or whatever has been healed, or sorry, removed, I then take this kind of golden white light of the original source creator to fill in that space and do any healing, clearing any residual shadow energies or what have you. And I sometimes will put myself in, I don't know, like a healing chamber at night, or, you know, if I'm doing like just kind of laying there reading, I'll put myself kind of in this golden white gold light of the original source creator that's just healing anything that's kind of gone rogue or anything that does need to be released. It can just kind of fizzle out and be healed. And then another thing I do too is just that, you know, that sacred fire. I just will kind of run, because anything of the divine will not perish in a sacred fire, right? So I just kind of hold myself almost like it's a shower, but like coming up from the ground, like a sacred fire coming up. Sometimes I do have it come from above as well. But the sacred fire just either showers down on me or rises up to envelop me, and it, you know, it burns away all the impurities. But of course, it being a sacred fire, there's no actual, you know, bad heat to it that's going to hurt anybody. That's not that is of the divine. It can't hurt you. But anything that's lurking in your DNA, or, you know, that's close enough to the surface to be discovered, the sacred fire can come and burn it out. And really, our healing journeys really are about just protecting ourselves, cleansing our energy, shielding ourselves, removing cords, bringing your own spirit and your, you know, the original source creator's healing light in to heal. And it feels like a never-ending process, and it just may be, especially if we're just going to continue to be in this 3D matrix. It will be a never-ending process until we pass away and go wherever it is we go. But as these, you know, light codes come in, and as things start to shake up and rumble, it almost feels like a lot of the traction we've gained, we don't have to lose, you know, 4 steps forward, 1 step, or 4 steps back, 1 step forward every time. And it's like, no, I'm doing all this healing and I'm getting worse and worse and worse. Like, that's what it feels like for so many of us. So there are a few quantum jumping meditations that I've personally vetted for myself that, you know, are clear of any outside negative interference that I can text you. But also you can just Google quantum jumping, timeline jumping, meditation, or what have you. And usually they're anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. You don't really need a long time to do that. But of course, do any intuitive, you know, deciding or muscle testing to see if it's fit for you, if you go find your own. I always say even any video you listen to, even if it's by a creator you always watch, I still will just make sure, is this something I need to watch? Even if it's in alignment, you know, with the divine, is it something I actually need to watch? Or would it benefit me to watch it? The answer is not always yes. Even if my human ego side is like, no, but that looks I'm so curious. I want to watch it. But then I do watch it. I like kind of rebel against my spirit. And I'm like, yeah, you were right. I mean, it was a fine video, but I didn't learn anything or whatever, you know? Yes, I can do that. I can do that when we're done with the live stream. Okay, let's get one more card. Just anything to help Amber get through. So definitely the quantum timeline jumping. That will help. Jump to a timeline that is more advanced than where you're at now, where you've already processed everything that's in your vicinity. And of course, this can sometimes take a few days to weeks, but put a rush on it. Bring your spirit in to really handle things. And that's the thing is, it seems to take less time, especially if it's something like just being able to move through emotions or do some personal healing. That can go much quicker when you bring your spirit in. If you're like, oh, I need to quantum jump to a timeline where I just won the lottery jackpot or something. Because there are so many other outside forces involved in that thing happening, even getting your spirit involved maybe won't make that thing happen overnight. You know what I mean? So the more likely it is to happen already, the better off you're going to be. And you're not asking for much. You're just asking to move through these energies rather than just have to like spin your wheels in it. So you're not asking too much at all, Amber. So I will send that to you. And then just anything else Amber needs to know to get prepared, to get through these next 6 days. Yeah, 9 of Wands. You're close. You're close because I always call this my Olympic athlete card. With the blood, the sweat, the tears you've already been through, you're like not even knee deep in it anymore. It's more kind of mid-calf deep. So, and that's another thing I'm getting a vision of is just being able to literally pull a plug. So if you can envision yourself stuck energetically or emotionally in something, and somehow you can reach down or ask, your spirit to reach down and pull the plug on it and just watch it all go down the drain and anything. And of course, also being in a bath while doing this is even more potent because you can actually visualize or see it leaving your body as it's going down a literal drain. I do that almost every night with just clearing my own energy when I take a bath. And of course, anytime I'm in the shower, same thing. I like double duty my physical cleansing and hygiene with spiritual cleansing and hygiene. Yes, it feels time warp, repeating and repeating. I did that today. Oh, that's good. Not about the repeating, but that you did that. Yeah, I'll probably do it tonight. Also, we'll share the details about the event on our reading next week. Awesome. Yeah. Because I feel you're so close. I feel you're so close to being able to move through, have like a spiritual breakthrough. Because I just see you almost becoming detached from just, I'm not saying the people in your life, exactly what I'm trying to say. Of course, YouTube gets weird about nudity. So there we go. Oh, and look, it's like almost like she pulled the plug because she's just in barely a little bit of water there. It's like if she were to stand fully up, it's ankle deep. So it's already just going down. But I see you just being detached. Even if your husband gets upset, I'm hearing what's the worst that can happen. Okay, so he's upset. I guess now I don't know how he deals with being upset. Does he just keep coming after you and arguing? Or is he one that kind of distances himself and doesn't talk? If he's the latter of the two, consider yourself free of some personal burden for a minute and just be able to feel like you can be in your own energy with, even if he's mad, like that's a projection of him, not you. You're taking care of yourself. No one should ever be upset for you being able to take care of yourself because you put your oxygen mask on before you put anyone else's on. We can't pour from those empty cups and he's, or just the expectation is that you're going to keep pouring and pouring, having company over, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're smiling a lot, you're entertaining. I mean, this is exhaustive work if your heart's not in it. If your heart's in it, it's a pleasure and you're excited to do it and you love it. And even when that's the case, you can sometimes still be tired and drained when everybody goes back home. But when you're already just like, I'm so not ready for this, it's even more of a drain and even more difficult. But what I see is you being able to utilize your spiritual gifts, abilities, powers, even if you're completely, in your 3 big bubbles around you of your own spirit, in the womb space with the sacred waters and all of that, while you're on the couch entertaining or, cooking the meals or whatever, just make each and everything that feels like a drag or feels like the worst thing the last thing you want to be doing in that moment, make it a sacred act of service out of love as much as you can. love for yourself, love for the cousins, love for your husband, love for your daughter, even if you're not fully 100% there in the moment. Like, you'd rather just be anywhere but in the presence of these people. You'd rather just be by yourself, crying or healing or sleeping or whatever it is. But just try to bring that spirit in as much as you can and just endure is kind of what I'm hearing, because it won't last forever. But at the same time, if you can finagle or wiggle some retirement time where you're retiring to your own space to take care of yourself in any way that feels relevant, whether it's a bath or sleeping or meditating or whatever, that's your prerogative. And nobody should be snippy or pissy or mad that you're doing that. But if they are, again, oh well, like that's oh well. And I know we want to make a good impression. We don't want our cousins to be upset or, whoever, whatever. But at the same time, you want to honor your own self, I started saying, let's see, I let it flow out of my body, all that what came up. I have started saying the same thing. What's the max he will do? Divorce? Be angry? He is always angry. It's like walking on eggshells all the time. I'm fed up. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I mean, like, literally, what's the worst? He's a little bit more angry than he was a minute ago. Like, we can't be responsible for the way everybody takes how we need to show up in the world. It's not like you're asking him to go above and beyond for any reason. You're literally saying, I'm gonna take care of myself right now. And if that makes him angry, that says a hell of a lot more about him than it says about you, really. Yeah, I've told him, even Kashfi, that I am done being a bridge, trying to help both of their issues. They need to get a hold on their behavior and start being responsible. Absolutely. Absolutely. I hope everything improves for you, Amber. Yeah, I send as much positive energy as I can. Yeah, I'm sending you so much love as well. Oh, your cousin has twins and one of them is too much. Oh my gosh. That can be intense. Absolutely can be intense. Yeah. If you're already not feeling it, and then, usually with kids that are a bit much, that there can be a lot of noise and a lot of running around, a lot of energy, so do what you see is best for your protective of your own energy. And but I see you being in a much better space by the time they do get there, as far as the emotions and the just absolute exhaustion. But as you sleep tonight, and I think you maybe do this decently enough anyway, but yeah, just, ask your spirit, like, these are desperate times, just give me a little more bump of what, throw me a bone, spirit, throw me a bone, just get me good, get me good. And the quantum jumping. She's totally into me, myself, and more me. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's hard. All right. Well, I hope that helped at least bridge the gap until, I meet with you. So, it's a lot. I can feel the burden from here, and I'm just so sorry you're having to deal with that. But, if anyone can, I mean, I know this is no consolation, but Amber, if anyone can handle it, it's you. You're very strong, but, when is there going to be a time where you don't have to be so effing strong, It's like, the hits keep coming, and that's really this realm in a nutshell. The hits just keep on coming, but you're showing up, and you're doing the thing, and you're still coming out on top. Your head is still above water. You're so welcome, Amber. I'm so sorry you're dealing with that, but yeah, I do see you in a much better emotional and like energy level space by the time they get there. And I find you might even enjoy one particular day. I don't know if you guys have anything fun planned or you're just having some deep conversation or something, but one of the days is going to be like a memory maker in some way. A good memory maker. So I guess we can take the good with the bad, I know we've been getting the message that it's ending, but when? Oh my gosh. Same. I'm like, I thought I healed this already and it's coming right back around. But again, we look at it this way. It looks like a circle. We look at it this way. It's actually a spiral. Peeling the layers. All right, cosmic question. We're going to timestamp 104:11. Cosmic Q. Okay, here we go. Just for sake of saving time, because I'm already over the hour, I'm just going to pull one that we already have. We have quite a little collection here. So I don't think we're, maybe coming up we'll ask for another question or two to be added. But here is tonight's winner. This is from Banana Anna S. Wow, she is so lucky in getting her questions pulled out of there. It says, who built or what are the purpose of the pyramids / mounds of the world in Egypt, Ireland, etc.? Okay. Here we go. So who built or what are the purpose of, so we're going to start with who. Who's involved here? Yeah, let's do that. We're going to start there and try to decide what. For some reason, I'm going to go to the Cozy Witch. Cozy Witch Tarot. All right, who? Or what collective of whos built the pyramids? We're going to start with that part of the question. Yeah, we are talking about the pyramids. Okay, here we go. Tuning into the truth. Capital T, truth. Capital T, truth. Not timeout, but capital T, truth. Even if this goes against what we've been told in the history books, I want the truth. Who or what collective of beings or whatever built the pyramids around the world? Egypt, Ireland, etc. I know there are many pyramids, even kind of hidden in plain sight here in Montana. This isn't the most prominent one I know of, but when we were driving, and I showed this on a recent live stream, but let me get to it. I mean, it's just right there. You see it? The mountain is a literal pyramid. I mean, nature is amazing, but I don't think nature creates perfect pyramids. Those are usually man or being made, right? Being. That's just right here in Missoula, Montana. So, and that's not even the biggest one in Montana I know of. There are many. So many up near Libby, where I was born and raised. So many. Anchor points, yes. And, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to know all the things. So let's first start with who. Who? And we might ask, is there multiple races or beings or peoples involved in making the different pyramids around? But let's just start with who built the pyramids. 8 of Cups. Okay, so they were built by a society or a race or beings or a bloodline that is no longer here. They have left the building. It doesn't mean, because, okay, I'm getting a big download. We are somehow like genetic cousins or related. Those of us that are humans now are related genetically, like by way of like, because what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like cousins. I just heard kissing cousins. So genetically we do share DNA with them, but they were not fully human. They were something other than human, but they somehow donated DNA to create what we now know as humans. And it may be up to as many as 8 different races. Yes, I'm feeling that. It was before. And then, okay, I'm already getting ahead of myself, but yes. So let's just confirm that it was before the Matrix was inverted and the Earth got hijacked, that these pyramids around the world were built. Absolute yes. In the material world. We couldn't have gotten a more perfect card, because I'm picturing in my mind's eye, I want a clear yes, and here, can it be any more clear? And it's Earth, the Earth element. That's a big yes, a big 10-4. Over, Roger. Yes, big 10-4. But there was a death. This is the death card, the broom in this deck, the number 13, the death card. The death of the original. I have chills as well. Oh my gosh. Woo! Woo, woo, woo. I love cosmic questions. Because, see, I could sit down all day long just in my own energy and tune into these, but there's just much more exciting doing it with you guys. I love this. Yeah, there was a death. Not to say that the original blueprint of this planet does not exist. It's a death as far as our immediate access to it. But with death comes rebirth as well. And I see a potential to be able to return or at least have access in a future way somehow. Death of the divine feminine. Absolutely. So much. Yeah, detachment. Absolutely. it's interesting because what I'm seeing with the beings that created certain pyramidal structures, maybe not everyone, but I'm really tuning into Ireland specifically for some reason. Like that's where my mind's going. My not my mind, but my claircognizance. It's like a weird mind heart connection, and that's actually I know I say a lot of times I hear, I see, I whatever when I'm bringing forth information. But when I say I think, usually that is my claircognizance, like just spewing it out. It just drops in, and it's just like a knowing, but not like a brain knowing. It's more of like a heart center knowing. It's weird. It's hard to put into words, but those of you that are claircognizant, you probably understand exactly what I'm talking about. But as far as the death, yeah, and it says, tidy up your life so you can make space for something better. And of course, the beings that hijack this realm think that's what they did. They tidy up the space to make something that's more in alignment with their agenda, something better for them. And I'm seeing this major change in atmosphere, and I'm seeing, like, I heard magnetosphere. I just heard Kuiper belt. I want to say that's like out somewhere between like Saturn and Jupiter, or Mars and Jupiter, or Mars and Saturn, sorry. Kuiper belt. Kuiper belt. What does Kuiper belt have to do with the hijacking of planet Earth down to a 3D matrix? What does the Kuiper belt have to do with that? Oh my God. Okay. Wow. There was a decision made. It was like a breakup of races. They broke up with their original planet. Oh, I have chills. And isn't the Kuiper belt like an asteroid field, or like it possibly was a planet at one point and it just completely got decimated and spread all over like fractals? And Six of Swords, all aboard which it's time to write a new chapter. They left. So the Kuiper belt, what does the Kuiper belt have to do with the hijacking of this matrix? The Lovers. Will you or won't you? The choice is yours. So they made a choice to leave their original place. Most likely somehow something was destroyed, because the Kuiper belt, I don't know, if someone wants to look that up and let us know in the chat what's going on with the Kuiper belt. I just heard Tiamat. I don't know if that's related or something extra to the Kuiper belt. Six of Swords. This really is about moving on from where you're at to something else. And of course, I always call this my internet card, branching out, networking, connecting from either where you're at to somewhere new, or leaving where you're at to go somewhere new. Interesting. So something with the Kuiper belt, Tiamat, destruction, led to then this fallen realm here on Earth. Wow. Okay. So we've established the who. So let's just tune in now. What was the original? I want to see, because I actually am seeing in my mind's eye that even after the original purpose was established, once this realm was hijacked, there was a new purpose for those pyramids. It's not the same. It's not the original purpose. So let's see what the original purpose was. And I want to go to a fresh deck just in case any of these cards need to come out, because I don't want to put them back. I want to be able to refer to them if we need to. Guess we're going to this hard to see deck. It's hard to see in this shiny light. Okay. So what was the question at hand? What was the original purpose on the original blueprint of this Earth? When these pyramids were originally built, what was their purpose? Okay, so it was to anchor something in. Oh. Because, okay, so it's something about making things more physical or more material. Because with such the high vibe that Earth was, there were many parts of the realm that were not material. But where they had these pyramids, they acted as anchor points. Didn't you say something about anchor points earlier, Amber? I thought you did. Fear came into existence, a dark energy invaded. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I felt so much when I went to the mounds in Ireland. I loved it. Oh, I have chills. I've never been even to Ireland. I want to go. I mean, Kelly Green, anyone? Red hair, anyone? I have Irish ancestry. I wanna go. It sounds like the telomeres of the DNA. Yeah. And he's almost crossing his legs like a helix, kind of. But it almost creates like the number 4 with the legs. Something with the number 4. Oh, I get it. Like stability and security of a material realm. So these mounds were built and pyramids were built all over. They're not just in Ireland, not just in, South America, not just in Egypt. They are in North America, South America, New Zealand. I think they have some. I mean, they're everywhere. And I just saw, for some reason, the Easter Island heads that were buried. They, at one time, were actually not buried. They were above ground. So, I don't know. That might just be a side tangent. Oh, it's not a side tangent. It's a different type of anchor. Some of these other kind of wonders of the world or natural, or not natural, but like created with natural resources. Pillars. I'm hearing pillars. I don't know if there's a pillar. Weird, random. Most of the pillars I know about were man-made for sure. Obviously the pyramids were man-made. Oh, there's a pillar behind him. The tree is like a pillar. And now I'm seeing the destruction of the realm because the trees used to be much, much, much taller. Oh, and we were talking about atmosphere earlier. Wow. You chopped down all of the ancient trees that were ginormous compared to any tree that we have now. That's going to change the atmosphere because the oxygen that's produced is going to be almost negligible at that point. Yes, the Devil's Tower. This is tying into today's collective. Oh my gosh, it so is with the number 4 and the stability. My gosh. I've been to the Mayan ruins in Guatemala too. They buzz with energy as well. I have chills. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is amazing. So many of these sites with a lot of the healing that we are doing on ourselves or, that healers around the world are doing on the earth or with animals, with other people, the level of healing that, especially since 2012 is what I'm seeing. That's the calendar, like turning from 2012 into 2013. Since then, especially, but then I'm now hearing harmonic convergence of 1987. So there's some catalytic event that kicked off during that harmonic convergence of 1987 that then completed the cycle from 2012. How many years is that? I'm not going to sit here and math this late at night, so I'm gonna calculate it. So from 2012 to 1987, how many years? So 25 years. So something about a 25-year cycle. Okay, so what's 25 years? So 2012 plus 25 would be like 137 or 2037. Okay, so between now and 2037, things are just, I'm seeing like a dial being turned. No wonder the rats are scurrying and the roaches are scattering right now, energetically and parasitically speaking. They are scattering, throwing spaghetti at the wall. They can't hide anymore. The lights have been turned on too much. Like, after the bar closes and they're like, last call. I mean, it's past last call for these parasites and they're still here. But what I'm getting is that since the harmonic convergence, and then especially since 2012, and from 2012 leading toward 2037, which we're already between 2012 and 2037, we're well on our way. We're like 12, almost 13 years into that cycle. There's another 12 years-ish that left. Something like that left until 2037. 13, 12, somewhere in there. It's about the same amount of time between, it's about, yes, okay. Wow. No, number 12. 12 to 13. Oh! Changing the calendar from a 12-month year, from a 13-month year into a 12-month year. Sept means 7. Oct means 8. Nov means 9. December means 10. So really, January and February should be, months 11 and 12. December should be the 10th month and back. They purposely messed with time to throw us off because they've changed the calendar as recently as like 15 something. The 15 whatevers years. Like 5-ish 100 years ago, I think. Don't quote me on that. Maybe you can ask Google or your own self when was the last time the calendar was changed. But these calendar changes have been very purposeful in keeping us from feeling connected to the earth because they knew this time was coming with this convergence of energy where people are waking up and regaining the original connection to the original blueprint of the planet. And that's where this ties into us being almost that holding that higher light within. It's kind of the opposite of what was going on in the original blueprint of the planet, but anchoring the energy or vibration slightly lower so that it could be material in form. But then, of course, the people that came in and took over this realm and completely hijacked it, took it down way below what it should have ever been. Because where it was around the 5D mark was perfect. It was perfect for us to have a material experience and kind of bump up against each other now and then, but not have it be war and famine and suffering and trauma and just chaos. That was never what this was supposed to be. So tying this back into today's collective is those of you watching and many others around the world can tune in, can feel those vibrations, can access the original ley lines, the originals of what's actually meant to be experienced on this planet. And when you can visit these places, either physically or just by setting that intention to connect to the original earth, the original ley lines of this earth, the original grid lines, the original energies that this earth was designed to emanate, you have access. Maybe not like full bore access, but like more access than any material realm 3D matrix person has. You have the golden egg, the goose that laid the golden egg. But you've been tricked to believe that you can't. The 8 of Swords from our collective earlier. Oh my gosh, I have chills. The goose that laid the golden egg. The golden egg is the golden ticket. And I'm using the golden, oh my gosh. I pulled this one off the top. Oh my gosh, I'm blowing my own mind. Like, not like, oh, I'm so great, but like the information coming from spirit. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the information coming from spirit is blowing my mind. I love this so much. But look, look, he's golden himself. He's fully golden. This person has a golden halo on the head, but this person has fully become golden. By what? What? For you in the back. For what? Honoring their selves, honoring their need for rest and healing and recuperation and relaxation and happiness and joy and abundance, honoring their own needs. Not at the detriment or to hell with everyone else. But again, putting your oxygen mask on first will allow you to become a golden human, energetically speaking. I'm not seeing us all turning into, a golden version of the Tin Man or anything like that. If you only had a heart. We have the heart. We got it. We don't need to literally turn to stone or to gold. But energetically and metaphorically speaking, that's what's happening here. And that's what I love about these cosmic questions is we kind of went off the rails with it, but it's all connected. That's the thing, is so much of what you guys want to know. You can't just pull on one thread of the tapestry and not be pulling on other threads of the tapestry because it's all connected. It's all painting a picture, and we'll pull a thread here this week and a thread there next week, and this person over here's pulling threads and they're pulling threads, and eventually we're going to have enough information to really start putting a picture together here. I love this so much, you guys. All right, what else is going on out there? Let's see. I know this is okay. So I want to do two things. So we know the original purpose of the pyramids. I want to see what the purpose is now that they've been hijacked. What purpose are they being used for current day, as far as the 3D reality? what is the purpose of the pyramids in this 3D reality? What is this purpose? To keep the vibration. Shorty got low, 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 low. As low as we can go. Limbo. Keeping us in limbo. How low can you go? Well, we know how low you can go. And look, there's almost like a limbo pole here on the window. I mean, how low can you go? We can't get any lower vibrationally and still have any connection to spirit than what the 3D matrix has provided for us. So loving. So nice of them to do that. But yeah, keeping people sick, keeping people in debt, keeping people tired and exhausted, just being around other beings who are also tired and exhausted and just over it. Because what I just saw in my mind's eye is shaking the jar of ant. You have the black ants and the red fire ants, and they're fine. They're coexisting until someone outside of the ant population shakes the jar. Then they start attacking for the kill. And that's what I see is this matrix has done is put us in a jar and shake us up constantly, all the time. How nice of them. Now that I feel the intention good now I feel, was the intention good behind making the pyramids? As far as remembering from my past life, from that time, there was no illness. Yeah, and I can remember lifetimes and recall lifetimes where there was no need for a shaman because everyone was their own shaman. Not that they needed a shaman, but they could journey and connect directly back to source, no problem, but still have a physical, energetic connection here in a material world. And then when you were like, yeah, peace out on this experience, I'm going to check out, you left your body, and then that vessel was done and recycled back to the earth. And it was, no big, grief was, there may have been a bittersweet feeling when someone that, a spirit you were close to decided to check on out, but you were still having fun here. There may have been a bittersweet moment, but it was not this heavy grief that when we lose someone in this realm, it can devastate people. There are people out there that will never recover from the loss of a parent or a child or a friend or someone who meant something to them, a pet even. I mean, it's so rough. It's so hard because there is this just feeling of like water slipping through your fingers. Like, I may never get that back in any way. It's so hard. This is just the worst. But I do, since we tuned into what they have done, they have used it to basically shake us all up, keep us low, 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 low. What was the other thing I wanted to tune into? It was about how, any advice. Again, I'm on a fresh deck. Where's the fresh? Okay, we're going to go to the White Newman. Any advice for us to connect to the original blueprint and bring more of that amazing energy online to help dissolve the matrix? What can we do? What can we do to dissolve this matrix and bring that original blueprint back front and center? What can we do? Oh my God. So there's that golden halo again. Embody your golden light, which to me is your own, it's like the truth of your spirit. Honor your own energy. Honor your own wishes. Honor your own desires. If you're constantly breaking your own heart by going against your own wishes and desires and trying to please others, it's only going to feel like walking through quicksand or walking around with a limp or constantly sick or energetically drained. It's time that we balance our own energy, and temperance is such an embodiment of the divine feminine. It really is. And I always see temperance. I know it's the number, 16? No. 16. 14. IV is 14. Okay. Well, XIV is 14. Although I get such a 6 vibe from the temperance energy. It's very feminine. It's very balanced, very balanced approach. And I'm hearing in my intuition to read the temperance card from the White Newman Tarot book, which I never do that, you guys. I mean, I might once in a while, like once in a blue moon, read from an oracle card book, but never a tarot book. I got that handled, but there's something specific to this deck that for some reason, this is like such a soul deck as far as our cosmic questions. It's not even funny. So we literally pulled one card and now they're like, go get the book. Go get the book. Which is where, Spirit? Where? Where is the book? Put it back over there. Yes. Let me grab it. All right. We're gonna get the book. Alrighty. Such a fun book, little hardcover. Like, who does that? It's awesome. All right, Temperance. It's too far. I'm going too far. 13. Okay, so it's next page. Okay. Keywords: harmony, balance, focus. Okay, I think it's having to do with focus because I just heard ding, ding, ding. We have a winner when I read the word focus. So something to do with our focus, our intention. Okay. Here, all is in equilibrium. Okay, that's so not where we're at. That's so not where we're at. But it says, here, all is in equilibrium. Half submerged, part human, part bird. Part bird. Maybe the people that we have the shared cousin DNA with were part bird. With serene focus, the water flows from one chalice to another in an act of pure alchemy, with golden knowledge inspiring her thoughts and an awakened third eye. She instinctively sees where balance is sought. Neither excuses nor abstinence, neither harsh severity nor meek mercy. Seek the middle path, seek harmony. The middle path. But I'm hearing the middle path is the road less traveled. Something about the middle path being the road less traveled. Because that's the thing. Think of it. We just had this election. You have to pick this side or this side. You can't pick in the middle. That doesn't exist. You're not allowed to do that. And if you do that, those people get like 5 votes. We're being told to pick the middle path and focus, set our intention using our spiritual gifts to bring in that golden light of the creator, the original source creator, to connect with the original blueprint of Mother Earth, and to, I'm hearing, ignite our DNA. Ignite. That's to go up in flames, but I'm seeing it as like the sacred fire burning away what does not belong in our DNA. Our family tree's got haters in the branches. And entities in the branches, and curses in the branches. Burn them away with your focus, with your intention. Because your imagination, you playing pretend, that's what they say is, oh, you meditate, you go on these shamanic journeys, that's just you play and pretend. That doesn't do anything. Well, if it doesn't do anything, why does it bother you so much, mundane world? Why does it bother you so much? Because something's happening when we are doing these things. And the more of us that do them, the bigger this reverberation gets. The bigger, I'm hearing like a wong, wong, wong. Like when you're standing next to something very powerful, it almost just vibrates with like a noise. And someone earlier said something about being able to hear something, like from the mounds or from the pyramids or something. Let's see. I'm gonna catch up on comments here. I love this so much. As far as I remember from my past life at that time, oh yeah, there's no illness. I'm getting all these cards this week for my questions. Oh my gosh. Yes. Wow, that's so crazy. But is it crazy? No, it's so synchronistic. I love it. I keep feeling our ancestors tried to reestablish a connection with the divine, but it was too artificial and ended up making things worse. Yeah. I feel that too. I feel that. And maybe so many of us in our past lives where I know I had a past life in Lemuria as it's falling. And I don't know if this was literal or more metaphorically speaking, but I just saw myself just like the water's rising and I'm on this island that's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until I'm just below. And I had to go. There was nothing to grasp onto. Wide open ocean. That's all there was. So I had to go. Had to check out of that lifetime. Going down with the ship. But that's not what I see us doing this time. Wow, this cosmic question, you guys, was so good. Oh, so good. I mean, you would never see this on the History Channel. Sadly enough. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, everyone was gifted. No one wanted money. Money didn't exist. I don't even remember seeing gold or silver. Right. Yeah. We were so in tune with Spirit and Mother Earth. Absolutely. I mean, we are the only species on this planet that has currency. I mean, there are other, like squirrels and birds and stuff that will like share resources or kind of barter here. Hey, I'll give you this nut if you give me that seed. Okay, cool. Like, so you can see bartering in nature, but you don't see an exchange of a monetary currency for a good or service in any any other natural animal kingdom, plant kingdom, none of it. And in fact, the plant kingdom are probably the most unconditionally loving of all, because they're not sitting there judging that tree off to the side that they're sharing a root system with, like, why can't you just get it together? Just give more of yourself. No, their interconnected roots will reach, and sometimes they will sway closer and nourish the roots of the tree that is struggling, because they have that unconditional love. There is no, what are you going to give me? Energy exchange. Come on. The energy exchange is only a thing because that's what we do in this realm. It's insane. If you sit and really think about it, we're the only species or the only animal out there that is sitting here exchanging money for goods and services. Who does that? But I mean, we all do that because that's what we've been programmed and conditioned and culturized into. Is culturized even a word? Culturized? I don't think that's a real word, but I just made up a word. Culturized. Well, yeah, I don't know. It still baffles me as the Nine of Pentacles is staring at me from the back of the deck. And the Six of Pentacles. This is more nature. Like nature, if it's out of balance, it will do everything to rebalance. I mean, think of these forests that are completely, overrun with pine beetle infestations and have all these dead trees and, pine boughs and just all this stuff that's not, it's stagnant. It's not doing anything. So the fire will come in, nature will bring in the fire to alchemize, to transmute. And like the phoenix rising from those ashes, you'll start to get mushrooms and flowers and new trees, new growth, bursting forth life where there once was death. The nature of life. That's the nature of life. But the controllers here have been trying to keep people in this survival mode where if they just can't keep up, then oh well, you're left behind. Oh, and another pentacle. Yeah, this is a very physical reality reading we got going on here. And then Six of Swords, which we got earlier with the Cozy Witch. Wow. But yeah, this also is a card about healing. Because I'm seeing this for us, not, people that came here and did whatever they did with the pyramids. But this is for us to be able to move through, move beyond whatever is ailing us, either now, presently, or with our DNA, with our family lines, with our bloodlines, with our humanity at large, being able to move through this to something better. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder who is the controllers. Yeah, well, let's just see. Let's just see if we can get a finger on the pulse of what's going on. Who are these controllers? Because I think we've all heard, okay, this group runs the world, but who runs them, All right, who are these controllers of the 3D matrix? Who controls the 3D matrix? I mean, I know we've gone beyond our question, but I think it's all connected. We could just do a 1 year long live stream that never ends of one question, just creating new questions. All right, who created the 3D matrix? Ooh, it's spun. Someone who didn't have anyone's best interest at heart, I can tell you that much. Someone who was so completely removed from source themselves that they cannot create anymore. This is death. There's no life there. There's no spirit there. It's gone. It's gone. The spirit, whatever created this realm, it's like their spark is completely out. What a card, right? These two also want to come out. Okay. Oh, man. Yeah. So why are we here? Because they need what we have to offer. Even if we're not purposely and, handing it over on a silver platter, they want what we have to offer. And this is a card of planning. So these plans that are rolling out now, in as far as agendas and what's playing out on the world stage, have been planned for a very long time. And the people rolling these things out are not the controllers themselves. They are taking the directives of the controllers. So I just got that these controllers aren't even incarnated. They're not even incarnated. They don't have bodies? What? They're not incarnated here. Let's see. Do they not have bodies? Yeah, they're lacking. This is a card of lack. I always pull clarifiers with the Four of Pentacles because they need us to get that gold medal. That's what I'm seeing here. Seven of Swords is staring at me from the other deck. I just heard hidden hand. I see those two hands there. The hidden hand. What's this hidden hand? What's the hidden hand? Yeah, literally they're okay. I did say they don't have a spirit, but they are in energy form. I almost said like spirit form, but they don't. It's whatever energy form they're in has no connection to the divine anymore. It once did. I do see that it once did, but it no longer does. It's gone way too far off the rails. Like I said, the 3D matrix is as far away as we can get without completely severing that connection. Because I'm seeing almost the after tarot version of this, of severing the head, taking the actual life force out of it. They've gone too far. They've gone too far and they know it. And that's why they need us to sustain what it is they're trying to push forth. Because what I'm seeing this Nine of Wands is as agendas. Agendas, they're not quite to their finish line of what they want. Agenda 2030, New World, and then put in an order, all the things you hear. And I'm hearing their plans are even more sinister than what we are aware of. I don't even know if it's other planets. It just feels other realms of existence, other dimensions of existence that don't have a physical basis. It's more energetic. But I'm also hearing that it's too hard to put into human words because we don't have any basis of comparison for what this is, what this form is or isn't. My prime example is trying to describe the color purple to a blind person who's never had sight. That's kind of the correlation of the form that these things take, which is no form, disconnected from spirit, but yet somehow they're still in operation. Yeah, like high-ranking entities. Yeah, that feels right. So I feel like their time really is up. They're on borrowed time. I just heard shit or get off the pot. So they're like hidden, and it's the second time I've said this in this live stream. Something about energetic constipation. Like they've hit a point where without us being able to literally manifest these agendas into existence. But most people aren't. I won't say most people, but enough number of people aren't falling for it to where they can make something happen. So it's almost like everything's at a standstill. Everything's backed up. Oh, they're behind schedule for what they had hoped to be. They had hoped to be even farther or closer to their Agenda 2030 by the end of 2024. And I'm hearing something about smarts. Because the population has exploded and boomed so much since they created, or they didn't create, they hijacked the original purpose for these mounds, other structures, and pyramids. They're now creating smart cities to act as something that brings people even lower than what these other hijacked ley line structures do. That's why they're really pushing for these smart cities. And there's even one they're trying to orchestrate in Bozeman, Montana, here in my state. And people are already calling Bozeman Bose Angeles because it's basically Los Angeles 2.0. The homeless population is off the rails. And that's something that Montana, I mean, yeah, you'd have a vagrant or a homeless person here or there. Sorry, unhoused. You're not allowed to call them homeless people in town anymore. It's so politically correct. I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but at the same time, you know, words are words. You can't really skate around things. Sometimes you just got to say it, you know. I'm not being mean or judgmental. It's just that's what's going on. But there you would see maybe one vagrant or one unhoused person like a year. Like you would barely see them. And especially in smaller towns, you wouldn't see them at all. Like it just wasn't a thing. Yeah, virtual reality, AI, all these blasting frequencies they're bombing us with constantly. But it's all about, it feels physical because we can feel it physically, but it's very much about hijacking consciousness. Yes, hijacking the mind, exactly. We're on the same wavelength. But there are certain ones of us that can't be hijacked into that. Maybe at times we can kind of be pulled in and kind of hypnotized by it all, but we have enough connection and have deepened and strengthened enough of our connection to our own spirit that we can't be plugged into their metaverse or their matrix even further. Because it's almost like they're trying to create a virtual matrix within this 3D matrix to kind of save face or save themselves with what we have to offer, which is our energy, to create us as like just this hive mind, to put us in this almost machine or system, like digital system. But so many that are awakened, you're yeah, as a plan B, because their plan, yeah, they couldn't move forward with their plan the way they had hoped to be as far as they wanted to be by this time. There is, oh wow, I'm even seeing a new technology they're rolling out between now and 2026. I'm seeing, because they're behind schedule, it'll probably be closer to 2026. I have no idea what this is. But how, I mean, people have been hearing the word AI thrown around for years, but it's almost like just this last year or the year before, 2023 really was the year you heard it all the time. It just exploded onto the scene. This has something to do with like robots or cyborgs or what? What? Because it's like keep going. It's not just that. There's more. But wait, there's more. It's like an infomercial. But wait, there's more. What's what? Cyborgs, robots. What else? Okay, wow. Yeah. So not only are these AI cyborgs and robots and what have you, they're trying to upload people's consciousness into these robots, these cyborgs. Because it's more energetic. Yes, it's physical, as meaning there's a physical metallic gears and parts body that these things can take on. Did I see the movie Rogue Robot? I don't think so. I haven't seen. I think there was one called iRobot as well. I think that was with Will Smith. I didn't see that one either. I don't know. I've never been really drawn to those kind of movies for some reason. I mean, unless you talk about, well, there's one called The Wild Robot that I think is a movie out in theaters, or was out in theaters. We read that book. I think there's at least 2, maybe 3 books in that series now, but when that book first came out, I read it with the kids. We got it from the library and I read it with the kids. It was really cute, The Wild Robot. And of course I loved WALL-E. So I guess I can't say, oh, I've never been into robots. I loved WALL-E. I loved, oh gosh, what was the other one? Short Circuit from the 80s. You remember that? Oh, they're programming to work and survive in the wild. Oh, that sounds just like the Wild Robot book. That sounds just like it. Oh, I read the book. I've not seen the movie, but yeah. And then the other robots come to take her back or him back. I think it was an it. I don't know. To take them back, and they're like, "No, this is my home. This is my family." Like, yeah. See, I've only been drawn into like these kind of more childlike or cartoonish robot type movies where the robot themselves feels like it has a spirit. And that almost feels like what they're trying to do is upload, for lack of a better word, upload people's spirits into these machines. So they no longer have like meat suit bodies. They're gonna incarnate it. Oh, we built this machine somehow, some way. I don't know that they have the technology for that yet. Hopefully they don't, because that's scary as F. To somehow summons a spirit from source to implant into these robots. Like, I hope not. I hope not. Piccoli! Oh, it was a good movie. I'm gonna have to see it. I saw it was gonna be out in theaters, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I loved that book. It develops a spirit and a heart center. See, and that's what I see they're trying to do in a nefarious way. But I'm seeing somehow, some way, it's like source can't allow. Like, they've already gone so far off the rails with our meat suit bodies and trying to hijack our consciousness in that way that they've crossed the line. They've gone too far. Remember I said that earlier. They've gone too far. So if it does happen somehow, some way that they're uploading people's consciousness to these cyborgs and robots, somehow, some way, it's not that the AI is going to take over. It's that the spirit, the true spirits that are maybe somehow inhabiting these machines, will find their way back out and find their way back to source. Absolutely, that's what I see. Let's see the outcome of, if they are doing this where they're uploading consciousness into machines and cyborgs and robots and stuff, and these true spirits are somehow trapped within, how are they getting out? Well, yeah, that's the plan. They are going to try to do this, or maybe they're already doing it. Oh yeah, I loved Bicentennial Man as well. Again, Andy in Bicentennial Man, he grew that like spirit somehow, some way. I watched that movie so many times, years and years. It's been years since I've seen it, but I probably watched it at least 10, 15 times, at least. I loved that movie. I still do. I just haven't watched it in a very long time. But let's see how. Yeah, I said, are they going to get out? How are they going to get out? And look what literally fell into my lap. So if spirits do come through that portal to be incarnated into, this very hellscape of a, what's the word? Apocalyptic landscape that they're trying to create here, we will find our way back to source. Or whoever it is, whatever spirits are incarnating in this regard, will find their way back to source. They cannot. They've already crossed the line. They've already gone too far. So if somehow, some way, and I think, these cutesy, heartfelt movies that we all, come to love, like WALL-E and Bicentennial Man and The Wild Robot and Short Circuit and all these, have tried to set the stage for us to accept this as a future. Because again, they're 40, 50, 60, 100 years ahead of the game technology, if not farther out. But again, people need time. That boil the frog scenario, they've needed time, but they're already behind their own schedule. Time's ticking. The clocks in the time that they created are ticking. Their time's already up. So they're not going to somehow be able to make this happen. Or if they do make it happen, those spirits will be released. There's no way they can capture those spirits into time infinity, because those spirits are not theirs. Those spirits are belonging to the divine, just as we are belonging to the divine. We're kind of on loan here for a while, I guess, but we will all, not just the consciousness and spirits that are uploaded into these machines, but all of us that are in these more organic machines, our bodies, will find our way back to source. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. And that is something, in this soul trap community, and, yes, is it a trap? Probably. Is it a trick? More likely a trick than an absolute trap. But at the same time, even if it's a trap, even if it's a trick, there's always a way out. There's always a, fail-safe somehow. Because our spirit, our true spirit, cannot be contained or withheld or sold or auctioned off to the highest bidder, because it does not belong to anyone. It belongs to source. I know it's here right now, and it feels very murky and trapped. For sure, it does. For so many of us. This is the outcome. I mean, could we ask for 2 major arcanas? This is major level up. When we do return, we there's no way. There's no way. Even if it's 1,000 years from now, I'm not giving any timelines, because I don't know that that's even relevant or whatever. But somehow, some way, we will all return. All true spirits will return back to source and have their own free will to go where they want and not just be forced into this trap because somehow we were tricked or what have you. We will find our way back to source. So thank God. Thank God. Oh, such an empowering message in gloom and doom. I know. I mean, it was going south for a minute there, and I'm like, well, what can we do? Because they've spelled their plan out. So between now and 2026, just you watch, there's going to be all sorts of push for like cyborgs and robots, and that might actually start with the human body. I mean, they've already done like bionic hands and stuff for people who are missing limbs or brain chips. I mean, they're already wading into this territory, but there's going to be something that just takes it up a notch. And then once they boil the frog a little more, take it up another notch, another notch, another notch. But again, they're already on borrowed time. So they're going to start to reveal their hand much sooner than the population is ready for. And us boiled frogs are going to start jumping out of the pot. That's, you watch. Between now and 2026, people are jumping out of the pot. And I just heard pot meet kettle. We're the kettles. They're jumping out of the pot. We're going to meet them. It's going to be like a family reunion, spiritual-wise. I just heard there's going to be a massive wave of awakening. You have not seen nothing yet. And I split the deck to put a card back, and look what I saw. We haven't seen anything yet. So even the most entrenched in their matrix ways people are going to start waking up between now and 2026. I just heard it's game time. And I just saw the 9 of Wands. It's game time. Time's up for us too, as far as shit or get off the pot, people. Like it's go time. No more constipation, energetically speaking. It's time to let it flow, let it go. Energetically speaking. So there might be a mass awakening, accelerated awakenings, and so many of us. I mean, us awakened people are not the rare breeds we once were. I mean, even 5 years ago, there were a lot less of us than there are now. Our numbers are only growing by the minute. And, oh, and Amber sent $26 because I keep hearing 2026. And you sent $26. And I'm like, by 2026. And I just glanced over and there's your $26 sitting there. Confirmation by 2026. That this is there's going to be a wave of awakening like we have never seen since the fall of this world into the 3D Matrix. Between now and 2026. And we are almost to 2025, ladies and gentlemen. So we're at threat level midnight right here. And by threat level, I mean threat to the Matrix, not threat to us amazing spirits out here. Threat to the Matrix. Threat level midnight. Oh my gosh, that feels good. That makes me feel. How am I gonna sleep now, you guys? I go to bed in about an hour. How the heck am I gonna sleep? I just took a sigh of relief. I think it's a collective sigh of relief. Collective soul. That song came up. I want to say it was for Brianna, not too long ago. The World I Know. The song "The World I Know" by Collective Soul. If you have not heard that song or listened to it, or if you've already listened to it a long time ago, maybe listen to it again, because it is such an uplifting message. And I watched after I got that song for her. I'm like, well, I've never seen the music video, and for some reason there was a message for me to also go see the music video. And I watched the music video, and I was in tears at the end. I was just like, I have chills just thinking about that music video. And yeah, it was made in the 90s, and it shows, but like the sentiment is there. So go watch Collective Soul's music video for "The World I Know." That's your homework or your assignment. Your spiritual assignment for Woo Woo Wednesday evening. Or if you can't do it tonight, put it on your calendar for tomorrow. I promise it will not disappoint. And the song is really beautiful. And it's got such an uplifting message. Because the world we know is changing. It's shifting so much, you guys. And I think that's why so many of us are almost having this weird grief. I always like to give homework. Oh, it's fun. It's fun for me. I like being the teacher. No. No, if I were a teacher, I'd want to not give people homework. I want people to enjoy their lives, but I think this will help you maybe enjoy your life a little bit. But it's like this world is changing in big ways. And I think that's why so many of us are feeling like we're in crunch time, or like the world's never been worse, or when is this ever gonna end? This healing and peeling and trauma and suffering gonna end? Because somehow, some way, I think so many of us are feeling those labor pains or those rumblings that it's about to end. But with each ending is a new beginning. Apocalypse does not mean the world ending as in devastation for everybody. It means an unveiling, and specifically an unveiling of the actual truth. And once that truth is revealed, that cat cannot be put back in the bag. So there's that. And there's going to be a big shift, a big change. And yeah, you go on YouTube, any given, between 2020 and 2027, there's all these gloom and doom scenarios. Yeah, sure. For certain timelines, I'm sure there are, but for the most likely, because those low timelines, those catastrophic timelines are collapsing like crazy. I just almost see it as this comet just shooting through the sky, and that like trail of a tail behind it are those collapsing timelines that just kind of float off and turn into dust or whatever they turn into. They just dissipate. They cease to exist. They get recycled back to source. I have to time jump, imitate a migraine, and 2 more level up to prepare for 26. Did I miss anything? Oh my gosh. Right? Oh man. Most days I don't even have to fake a migraine. It's just there, but thankfully not this week. I don't have time for a migraine right now. All right, Pika Lee has donated. We're going to get into her reading. I meant to keep this live stream to about an hour, but of course, I'm actually glad we kept going because I think we all needed this message. This really does tie into the collective reading we did earlier in really weird, mind-blowing ways. So if you guys did miss, if you're joining us or have joined us since the beginning of this live stream, check out the collective and then start at the beginning. I will timestamp the cosmic question because so many like just mind-blowing things have gone on here. Aren't we just going? Right? So much going on. All right, Pika Lee. All right, for real. I'm like, geez, I think my question was sort of answered, LOL. I love that. All right. Absolutely it was, but to more timely, more recent future for you, Pika Lee, let's ask your question. Are there any messages of guidance or advice that you need to be aware of? All right. Let's go in, clearing the energy from that cosmic question. Tuning into Pika Lee's lovely, amazing energy. Any messages of guidance or advice she needs to be aware of. All right. Wow. Well, there's some financial boost or just resources, really great, strong connections. For some reason, I just heard possibly buying a house or thinking about buying a house or some sort of upgrades around a house, buying something for the house. Very home and legacy, maybe even getting together, gathering with family or friends that feel like family. But more to the point, actual blood, legacy, ancestry, family. Whether they are living or passed away, deceased ancestors. Maybe you're doing some ancestral healing as well. Yeah, your spiritual connection. So this does feel like some ancestor. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think there was an ancestor. I want to say it was your father's side. I could be wrong about that, though. So correct me if I'm wrong. Like a great grandmother on one of the sides, but for some reason I'm reaching toward your father's lineage side. That's stepping forward and wants to work, wants to hang out, wants to clear some stuff within the family line. And I do have my Angels and Ancestors deck, so let's tune in and see if she has a specific message that she wants to get to you, because she's coming in pretty strong energetically. Stag, trust and thrive. I love that. And the stag is the masculine of the deer. So this is about, sometimes we do have to step into that masculine energy to make that coin, to establish security and abundance. Nothing wrong with that as a divine feminine to step into that masculine power. Because what I see underneath this is actually an amalgamation or a merging of masculine, feminine energies. Trust is a very feminine, divine feminine specifically energy. not just blind trust and faith in somebody, but true trust in your own spirit and trust that you are going to be okay in this world. That true trust is a very divine feminine energy. And then the thrive is all about that divine masculine. So it's like a merging of divine masculine and divine feminine. And divine feminine specifically, but also a balancing of divine masculine and divine feminine energy have been such a theme just in my life. And just somehow synchronistically, I'm finding things that are also, or videos or people's conversations that are also talking about a merging of the divine masculine and divine feminine energy. So this might be part of what's all popping off, taking us toward 2026, 2027, and beyond. But let's see. For Pika Lee from her ancestor, great-grandmother energy, what does she want Pika Lee to know? Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. So yet another very masculine energy, but also that sacral energy, you know, that's both masculine and feminine energy of that sacral sexual chakra. Sexual energy doesn't have to be straight up sex. It's what we create with. It's what we use to energize our lives. You got it right. I was on my father's side. I've also been researching my ancestry and took a DNA test earlier this year. That's cool. So this really does go into alignment with, you know, merging or bridging the gap between the physical that you can experience with learning, researching, doing the family tree, getting the DNA tests and all that in the physical reality, but also in the more spiritual realms, connecting to specific ancestors. And I always like to set the intention, you're connecting to the true spirit of these ancestors, not all these fake false light entities out there pretending or parading to be said great-grandmother or said ancestor. But also connecting to the wisdom that they share, not so much all the trauma. But if you are connecting to the trauma that they went through, it's only by way of wanting to heal it from the family line, or to end it in its tracks with you, rather than to carry that torch to yet another, you know, right on down the line. This is about you healing and connecting in that way. And learning. There's a lot of learning you're doing by connecting to this ancestor specifically. And then White Witch, be the light. So she may have been, while she was incarnated, very involved in either a religion or some sort of spiritual practice, something that helped her feel either connected to the earth or spirit or both. I feel, yeah, I'm hearing both. So even if she wasn't like on paper, like strong Catholic or, you know, Buddhist or, you know, whatever, somehow she had this deep spiritual connection. And maybe people didn't even know about her. Because there are plenty of people out there in my life that have no idea that I even do what I do for a living, let alone that I'm like doing shamanic journeys. Like that's just not something I broadcast unless someone finds me and we're talking like this. Like this is the only place I really talk about this stuff, unless I'm having a one-on-one conversation with someone who can handle this information. But those people in my like physical reality are very few and far between. Thankfully, I have an amazing cousin Tanya that comes on here I can talk with. My friend Jessa that comes on here I can talk with, my mom, other family members here and there. Maybe I can't go too deep on some of these rabbit holes because it would just completely cognitive dissonance. But I have people I can talk with. So if you don't have anyone you can talk about these deep spiritual topics with, and this was part of the collective message as well, you can find, and you don't need a whole tribe, a whole community, meaning, you know, 100 plus people that you can connect with on these deep levels. All a person really needs is 1, 2, 3. If you have more than that, that's awesome, but you don't even need more than that. Just a handful of really close people you could trust very well and, you know, really have deep conversations. That's what your spirit is craving for right now on some level. And even if you already have those connections, it's just about really fostering and nurturing those connections to make them even deeper and even more connected and even more spiritual. What else does Pika Lee need to know about this or just anything else that needs to come out? Well, something's coming out. Handshake. A meeting with a stranger could be important. Maybe you're meeting a new soul family member. Soul sister, soul brother, soul mate, whatever it is. But this is someone you don't know yet in this life that's coming into your life. You know, they look like a stranger at first, and then, a handshake. After a handshake, you're at least now an acquaintance, right? um, but I'm seeing the moon and the sun and planet Earth in the background, so I'm hearing this is destined. This is destined to be. I want to know more about this person or this destiny. What is this for Pika Lee? Something's falling into your lap. Wishbone. A wish is granted. So something you're wishing and hoping for on a really heart-based level is happening. And a handshake could even be like the signing of a contract, because when back in the day, all that was needed to sign a contract or to agree to something between two parties was a handshake. I mean, things have gone different now. But you may be, and going back to like a new home or purchasing something that's going to need a contract signed, or connecting with someone that's going to need a contract signed at some point, even if that point is in the near to distant future. I haven't noticed lately that people have been drawn to me and striking up conversation. Oh, you have noticed that. Oh, that's so cool. Neat. Yeah, well, you are the light. So people see that light, probably more on a subconscious level, obviously, and it's like moth to a flame. Especially if they are hurting, or their heart is out of alignment. A lot of times when you are holding that space, or you are the light, you can attract people like that. I mean, I remember back in the day, before even Wrigley was born, I'd take Boston down to the park and push him on the swing. He could swing for hours. I'd just push him and push him and push him. I'm like, you ready to go? No, keep going. So cute. I miss those days. But without fail, the whole place could be completely desolate, empty. I mean, it's like 9 a.m. on a weekday. Most people are at work, or, whatever. So just have free range of this one park we used to go to. But it's almost like the fact that we showed up, it was almost like the Sims game. You remember, especially Sims 2, you'd show up at the downtown lot and it would be empty, except maybe the bartender would be, if you were at the bar or the club, or if you went to a store or a shop, there'd be the shopkeeper behind the cash register. But they called them townies. Like all the other people were just nowhere to be found. And then you just start seeing them populating, like 2 by 2, just coming in. And before you know it, like you're in sim time about 2 hours in, and there's like 30 other Sims in this place that you're at. And you're just like, wow. But the same thing would happen when I go to this park with Boston. And without fail, whoever was in the swing next to me, I would, smile. I'm usually cordial and smile, but I'm usually not like that person that, extends the conversation first. I might say hi, but I'm usually not much beyond that unless someone strikes up the conversation. But I'd say 9 times out of 10, the person, putting their kid in the swing next would be, before they left that swing, would be telling me something that was not just surface level, tell a stranger at the park. Something about, oh, my mom died last week and I'm just really struggling. Like, I was like doing therapy sessions as I'm pushing my son on the swings. Person after person it's almost like the line, not literally, but it's almost like the line was formed. Someone would be on the swing, pushing. Here I'm giving all this advice and, like empathizing with them and their situation. And sometimes just all people wanted was just someone to listen. They didn't even need advice or wisdom. They just wanted a listening ear. And I really see that same vibe with your energy, that people just are drawn to you for that reason. And then look at this. Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. And are we in changing times? Oh boy, are we. We are in changing times. Whether you can feel the rumblings of it or not, what I feel, we're already well on our way down the road of major changes. And we really have been since even before I was born. Like, especially like Cold War era, there was something really brewing that I saw, like an energetic timeline break from like the things they were threatening. They actually had something really horrendous planned during the Cold War that never happened. Because it somehow wasn't allowed to happen. Or someone got involved that made it not happen somehow. And this is before I even was born. We're talking like the late 60s into the 70s. I'm seeing more like late 70s era for some reason. Like 78 is the year that's really coming into my awareness for some reason. I don't know if that year has any significance to you in your family line or anything, but yeah, because I want to say, Pika, you're definitely younger than me. I was born in 82, and I feel energetically you're younger as far as like chronological age. You're younger than me, like it's physical vessel age. I feel it. For sure. So you can trust your talents. And that's the thing is, the economy is been kind of a weird, crazy, scary thing out there right now. And, people's job security and am I making enough to put food on the table and pay my bills and actually have time and money left over at the end of the day to actually enjoy my freaking life? You're going to be able to swing it. Whatever it is you're trying to do, manifest, create, it's almost like, yeah, there's change rumbling, but like you're not affected in a bad way because of it. And there are people that, my own example, I got a day job now. Haven't started yet, but I'm starting soon, doing all my orientation and training and all that to get going. And I was basically told by like 3 people, I told, yeah, I'm kind of looking for a job. Good luck. There aren't any jobs out there. And the place that I got hired has like a 5% hiring rate of the people that apply. And they hired me. And I'm still like shook that happened. But it's like, just because everybody else has experienced, or, everybody in your awareness has experienced this, does not mean you have to. You can literally rise above and be living your best life, shining your light. And don't feel guilty that you've risen above and everybody else is struggling around you, because you can be that one to lend that helping hand down to help pull them up to your level. And we were really talking about this also on the collective about, don't drop your vibration. Don't shapeshift down into these, negative Nancy's and, to make that all happen. No. You hold your light and shine your light because you're acting as a living example that you don't have to go down with the ship. You don't have to, struggle with the economy. The struggle is real. Let's be honest. It's simple to be all high vibe and whatever, but it's not easy. In principle, it sounds very simple. Oh, well, just don't ever have emotions that are negative. Okay, I can do that. No, I can't. We can't. It's too difficult. We have to feel what we have going on, but we don't want to get stuck in it. That's the thing. But you have this light or this aura around you to be that like helping hand to pull people up to your level. You really do. And that's what that ancestor really wants you to know. And especially, with everything going on in the world right now, we can watch that train wreck dumpster fire and be like, we're all doomed. Why even try anymore? I'm checking out mentally, physically, emotionally, all the things. I'm just checking out. But no, you don't have to. And in fact, if you can maybe check out from the noise of the dumpster fire, and I think that message came in and you probably heeded that message pretty well. And that's why you're doing pretty well right now. I'm sure you're not engaging in just that low behavior that everyone else, not everybody, but a lot of people out there are just, I dipped on Facebook like this morning, not even thinking. I'm like, I'm just going to go check what Roots Restored Wellness has posted since I hadn't been on there for a few days. So I went on to just see, did she get back to me about something that I had asked in a comment? And I went there, and before I could type Roots Restored Wellness to search and just go directly there, of course, some political thing was at the top, and there was already, this is first thing, not first thing in the morning, but after I dropped my son off at school, obviously. So I'm like, okay, let me just, already like 67 comments, bickering, like, all the political crap. I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Exit, abort mission. I'm not here for this. Like, I had almost forgotten about that. Like this morning when I woke up, I was like feeling really good. Didn't even think about, who won the presidency. Like, I just don't care. But well, I sure knew the second I popped onto Facebook who won, whether I wanted to or not. There it was. You checked out that song too? Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, beautiful song. Anyway, I better cut it off there. We have been 2 hours, 18 minutes, and I want to do a little bit of meditating before bed tonight. Because last night I did some meditation, but I was so tired. It was more of a subconscious thing hitting there than my conscious because I kept dozing off. So I'm going to try to make a more conscious effort tonight in my meditation before bed. So yeah, I am going to timestamp the cosmic question. And yeah, it was eye-opening for me too. I'm like, whoa, awesome. That's the thing, is we will never know the answers to these questions if we don't ask. I'm sure, but that's the thing, is like, sometimes are we even asking the right question? because we're operating on so much false information with history and the way the world works that, like, what even is the right question to ask? So that's what I love about these cosmic questions is at least it gives us a starting point, because we never continue to just go down the line of today's question, pyramids. I mean, we were talking about the 3D matrix, we were talking about ley lines, and what else? I mean, cyborgs and them trying to upload people's consciousness, but like you never know what's coming out during these, and I don't either, and that's the beautiful part of this. I love this so much. Great question today, Banana Anna S. I am gonna close this out, timestamp, and post this cosmic question. So if anyone wanted to be able to come back, I think what I'll do too is start a cosmic questions playlist that I will put each of the live streams so they don't just get lost in the shuffle. A cosmic questions playlist that as the top comment that's pinned will tell you what the cosmic question of that live stream was and the timestamp to go directly to it. And I can't guarantee we're going to stay on topic of that exact question, but you're going to learn something, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm going to do that before they get lost in the shuffle. I think that would be a good thing to do. Cosmic question playlist, because we have like a pick a card playlist, and because otherwise it's just all in the live tab on my page, and you can be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And we've done, I think this is our 4th cosmic question now, maybe 5th, 4th. 4th is seeming like a more accurate number to me. So that's, and I would say the 4 cosmic questions we've done are probably close to 2 hours worth of information already, just in like 4 questions, because these are like lengthy little questions here. They're not a quick little 5-minute, here it is. Yeah, so love that. Yeah, me too. Oh, you went to bed and was like, I'll find out in the morning. Yeah, there was no way you could even pay me. I accidentally, because I went to Google, what was it I was trying to look up? I was going to look up something last night. Human design. There's something with human design. I think it was gate 44 I was looking up. Because I have that gate active in my chart. So I was looking up gate 44. And accidentally, because the Google banner on when you just type google.com on your Safari web browser on my phone, I accidentally, instead of clicking in the little box to type your question, I accidentally typed on the banner, and it showed me that it was, I think it was Donald Trump was like 109 votes and Kamala was way less than that. But I was like, I don't care. Get me out of here. What about gate 44? I need to know about gate 44 in my human design chart. That's more important to me right now. Which, again, I'm sure many people are going to be like, you're not doing your civic duty. How dare you care more about your own human design than the election outcome? Guess I'm just a rebel. I mean, obviously, whoever gets elected has some sort of consequence. There's some sort of consequence or whatever. But, like, at the same time, do I have to be on the timeline of those consequences? I'm opting out. I'm just choosing no. I mean, obviously, in the reality I'm currently existing in, there's still a political system. So, I mean, but it's so far removed from my day-to-day reality that it almost is just like that hum in the background, you know? So it's like, it's there, but it's not really, at least right now, knock on wood, affecting negatively my day-to-day life too much. I mean, yeah, inflation and, you know, all the things that are voted into whatever. I mean, there's some pretty scary laws they're trying to pass. You know, pro-life, pro-choice, pick your battle, you know, but I'm going to always be against government getting involved in telling us what to do with our bodies, for good or for bad. I'm just, because that's a very slippery slope. If they can tell you you can't do this, then they're maybe going to force this next injection or this on you, or tell you, well, you're no longer allowed to do this with your body. Like, it's a very slippery slope that I don't think we need to. I mean, I don't like the fact that the A word, where we terminate certain things with babies, happen. Like, that hurts me and makes me sad. But at the same time, in readings I've done in the past for a lady that actually did that and has since felt massive remorse. And this was actually on a live stream back in 2021. Had massive remorse about it and just wanted to connect with the spirit of that baby. And the baby's like, no, we're chill. Like, that was the plan all along. I just needed to be here long enough to touch down, because it was actually helping with her spiritual path to experienced that. And I know that sounds so, I don't know, it doesn't sound great, but that's the thing, but that's what came through, And I think it really eased her guilt and shame about what she then later regretted doing. But, thankfully, I've never been in a position where I had to choose to do that. But I know that, we were talking earlier about my miscarriage, where that little piece of placenta just was there, not unsticking from the uterine lining or whatever. And I was just bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. And there are medical procedures to go in and remove that if that's the case. Or like if you have an ectopic pregnancy, I think, as far as I know, I have not looked into this. This is what I heard, so don't quote me that I'm on the right track here. But as far as if you have like an ectopic pregnancy or are having a miscarriage, but the baby, I mean, thankfully I was able with medicated help the first time, because it was the first time it ever happened and I was terrified to death. The second time I did it all on my own, but then, placenta, and then thought, well, maybe I need intervention. And then the last time it was such an early miscarriage that it all just took care of itself within a few weeks. But thankfully I've never been in a position where I needed to have a service where, my baby passed away and now I need it removed because my body's not removing it in a timely enough manner to keep me living. And now it's legal in my state, and the next state that it's legal is 8 hours away and I'm going to die before I get there. Like, that should not be a thing. That should not be a thing. Like, I don't get political here, but like, no government should be able to tell a woman or a man or anyone what they should be doing with their bodies or what they can or can't do with their bodies, as long as you're not hurting anyone else or doing things at other people's bodies. I mean, that's a whole other topic. But as far as medical procedures for your own body, no. Government has no right. That is a personal and family decision, or the medical. Like, if the medical profession is like, you need this to save your life, like that between a woman and the doctor, not the government. What does the government have to do with your medical procedure? Like, nothing. Get out of here. I don't like it. My young girl just died recently due to that. It's so, I mean, the leading cause of death for women who are pregnant is childbirth or something going wrong with the pregnancy, right? It's scary. And even though we live in this very modern age with all this technology and sterilization of, tools when we're doing these things, that there's still a great amount of, infections that can happen and all sorts of crazy, scary stuff. I mean, we're much luckier than we were maybe in times where, if you had a breech baby that was just not coming out, that baby's heart rate's dropping every contraction, and there's no way to cut that baby out safely, and then the baby dies and the mom dies. Like, thankfully that's not as prevalent as what's going on now. I'm sure I've said way too many trigger words. I'm like, she's talking politics, she said died, she said death. Oh, yeah, but I just, the government should have nothing to do with what you do or don't do with your body, as long as you're not hurting anyone or their body. Like, again, other topic, but as long as I'm not hurting anyone, leave me alone with my body and their body and their body and their body. Yeah, it's gross. It's gross that 2024. I mean, we've come so far in so many ways, but yet, have we in others? Like, come on now, give me a break. All right, you guys, I've soapboxed enough, but this was fun. I needed this tonight after that kind of weird scuff up at the basketball game, which if you missed what that was all about, you can watch the beginning of the live stream. I made it in the nick of time, and there was a little scuffle. Not with me personally involved, but my husband. No shots were fired or dukes were thrown. But there was a little bit of yelling and like SMH, shaking my head. I was just yelling, leave me alone, to the universe. I know, I've said that multiple times along the years, through the years. I've said that multiple times. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Thank you. So I'm going to pop off here, send you the link to that quantum jump meditation, timestamp, and write the question that the cosmic question was today. And then I will see you guys on Friday. I'm seeing that everything's going good. All my stuff for my new job is due Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time, but I think I'm gonna have it all done by then, like well within that time, so that Friday I can just relax, hang out with you guys, have some fun. Yes, I can timestamp for you as well. All right, you guys. Well, that's gonna be doing it for me tonight. That's gonna be it for me. It did do it for me tonight. You guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out. Yeah, you have to come back. Yeah, it was a lot. There was a lot to unpack, and even that cosmic question, I'm probably gonna have to go back and listen to it tomorrow and just fully realize or just appreciate what all came through. I'm still like a few times I was just like, whoa. So cool. I love it. All right, you guys, thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Porter Tarot Live on Friday, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Be there. If anything happens where I can't be there, I will put it in the community tab. Should show up in your feed if you're on a phone. If you're on a computer, you'll have to go directly to the community tab. It's kind of a weird thing they do. They should just put it in the regular feed like they do all the videos. I don't know. But yes, good night to you as well. Oh, wait. Do you have any recommendations of human design content creators? I think you said you're a... Oh, I actually am a generator. A pure manifesting generator. Not... That's Boston. I am a pure generator. Wrigley's a pure generator. Boston is a pure manifesting generator. And then Ryan, my husband, is a projector. Yes. Oh, you're a reflector? I think that's only like 1% of people. And I think reflectors are playing a very major role in that 2027 shift and then into the next 400 years. Reflectors and projectors are coming online big. You guys are coming up. You're having a big come up. As far as content creators go, I can't name her off the top of my head, but she does like some live streams and deep dives on stuff that I'm just like, whoa, this is awesome. Let me grab that information for you real quick. Oh. My live stream. I was gonna text you guys from the game. Hey, we're really close in score, and this might go into overtime. It did not because refs were not playing fair. Okay, I gotta go to my other account. It's on my just personal scroll around YouTube account, not my live stream account. Okay, no, I don't want to view channel. I want to change channel. Switch accounts. Go to my play around account. Okay, so. Go to my to watch list. There's only 408 videos in there, but oh my gosh. I really need to clear off the things I just know I'm never going to get to. You know how that is, though. All right. Where is she? Okay. Was it after? Okay. Leanne Wolf. Okay. So Leanne, spelled Leann, and then Wolf with 2 Fs. And then also this lady, it says the energetic key to success there. Unshakable with Human Design, I think is her channel. Also Tan Astrology, I think is her name, but she does so much human design content as well. Yes, Unshakable with Human Design. Podcast is her channel. And then let me type Tan Astrology. Tan Astrology. Yeah. Yes. Tan Astrology is another. She does a lot of human design stuff. Yes. Thank you for posting that, Amber. I appreciate that. Yes. Leanne Wolf. So it's Wolf with 2 Fs on the end is her last name. Is there anyone else? I do have another guy. I was watching. He had some really in-depth live streams as well. Oh, I can't forget Maggie Ostera Human Design. And I'll show you the name so you guys can screenshot it or know how it's spelled. That's her channel. Maggie Ostera Human Design. She's awesome. She even has a free course on her website about your divine feminine archetype. And I did the quiz and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love this. I didn't do the free course yet because I've been a little bit busy with the whole work situation. But it's on my to-do list when I have time. Benjamin Torrey. I'll just click so you can see his name here. That one's a good one. Yeah, that's the guy. He does like podcast style ones as well on certain topics within. But if you just go on your search on YouTube, and once you know, like, oh, like I was talking earlier, like last night I was trying to look up something about Gate 44 that I have. And so I just typed in on YouTube Gate 44. If you have a channel, what is that channel that runs 6124? Is that what it is? You know, when the gates connect to another gate and it's a full, you know, they're connected, that's called a channel. And you get even more in-depth information from a channel than just a gate. Yes, it is 6124. Okay, that's right. Huh. Yeah, I'll just show you guys just. Where is it? Oh, these are the new ones I took. That's not mine. Where's mine? I have to scroll back up. Ah, come on. It's weird. I'll show you real quick and then I'll get these timestamps and go and whatever. How far back was I looking up human design? Here it was a while ago. Okay. That's not it. This is it, right here. All right. So these are, brighten that up a bit so you can see it. That's what my chart looks like. So I have all of those colored in sections activated. And it's funny because my husband has all of these are white. All of the ones I have activated, he does not have activated. And the ones I do not have activated, my husband has only those two activated. How weird is that? Yeah. I love a good free course as well. Sign me up. When I'll get to it, I guess, is another question, but I will get to it eventually. Yes, I will. Even the ones I pay for, sometimes I don't do them for like, well, I bought the Publish and Thrive and HB90 course from Sarah Cannon 2.5 years ago. I still haven't finished it. I like have started it 3 times and then something happens and I'm just, because it's like a 6-week course, you know, and it's a lot of information about publishing and self-publishing specifically. So yeah, it's a lot. All right. I think I've done everything I set out to do. So I am going to go, oh, what website did I get mine? Oh, the human design. So I had, oh gosh, I always forget the name of the darn thing. Is it? Yeah, genetic matrix. No, wait. I want to say this is the one I did have the subscription to. So you had the advanced features, genetic matrix. I want to say that's the one. I'm pretty sure. But there are like 4 or 5 different ones you can do your free chart. But genetic matrix, you can like buy the talking chart to where I think it was like somewhere between $37 and $50. I can't remember. Yeah, genetic matrix. Thank you for putting that up. You can do it for free too, but if you want to really get into this and dive into it, you probably would want like a paid version to get even deeper into it and maybe take a whole bunch of screenshots before your subscription runs out, or if you just want to keep your subscription or whatever. Because some of these are pretty pricey, even per month. It's like $29.99 or something. But if you get it for a full year, it's less. But still, I don't know that I'd want to pay. I did for a minute there, but then I'm like, but this is when I had decent money coming in at the time, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this. And I bought the subscription, and then I just let it run out without. I kind of hit a wall because I got busy doing other things, you know, and then didn't return to it until I'd already expired. I mean, still got to keep my foundational stuff, and then the talking chart that I purchased, I still got to keep that, but everything else disappeared or graded out. So I couldn't access like, because this does like a tropical for free. You can do like the tropical, what do you call them? Calculations, but you can't do like sidereal or Vedic calculations unless you buy the subscription or the paid portion of it. but you can do like the Babylonian version, all the things. You can have access to all of that if you pay for it, which I get it. It's the best things in life. Sometimes you gotta pay for them, you know? Yeah. Yeah, I love a good deep dive. And that's the thing. I have a Purnavasu Nakshatra moon sign, so it's considered return of the light. So there, and then I have the gate 6124, which is in the head chakra or center. We call them centers, the head center, where I can learn something about something and then like keep thinking about it, like beating a dead horse, informational and research speaking, like just keeping beating that same, going down that same research path. But usually when I do this, I learn something new or another layer is uncovered each time. But return of the light with my moon sign, like it's usually I have to try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, and eventually I will succeed at something. Eventually, it takes many tries usually to get it just right and to get it out there in the world or whatever it is. I mean, YouTube would be a prime example. Try, fail, try, fail, try, fail. I don't know that I ever have succeeded on YouTube to the capacity of which I think I'm capable, but again, too many outside factors for me to feel like I'm the one in charge around here. I'm in charge around here. Nah, those algorithms have me pegged and shadow banned like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. Fun. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to send you that meditation, timestamp everything, and be on my merry way. So good night. Have a wonderful, blessed rest of your week. I will see you Friday. I already did my closing. Thanks again for the likes. I already did that and then answered another question, and now I'm on my tangent. So I'm just going to say bye. All right. Love you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.